What's going on, the Lapeef Network? Appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. We got a great show tonight. Before we get started, let me introduce the panel tonight. We got GP. We got Shan. We got King. We got Kosher, Trill, El Guapo, and me myself, Lapeef JR. Welcome to the Lapeef Network again. You guys got to excuse my voice. I am under the weather tonight, but the show must go on. We had a phenomenal show last Tuesday. You guys were speaking out about it, so I was listening. I brought it back again. And who knows, this may be a show going forward. As I stated before, it's going to be a great show tonight. Make sure you guys get those likes up. Also, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. How you doing, fellas? No good.
Amazing. Appreciate you asking.
Doing fantastic, sir. Good to be here. Thank you for having us.
No doubt.
Wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, you guys looking great too, man. I'm glad you guys are here. It's an honor to have all of you guys. Well, so if you guys are just tuning in for the first time, I wanted to bring together a group of men just to have men talk, king talk, as I call it. It's honest and transparent. I feel like this is a safe space right here. And I feel like the men out there that's watching, this is something that we need. More men coming together, different opinions, personalities, just king talk. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. Our first topic that we're going to discuss is insecurity within a marriage. So guys get married, right? And when guys get married, they often don't learn about certain insecurities until they are within that marriage. So with that being said, can a marriage last with insecurity? Can a marriage last with insecurity? Since we got so many people, just feel free to speak up. We don't have to go in the order.
I would say no. I would say I think insecurity is probably the main thing that's going to make the marriage survive. Like, you got to be secure within yourself. You got to be secure within your partner. I know, like, the main issue that most men have in terms of settling down, period. It's like, am I picking the right person? And that's where the security comes in at, you know what I'm saying? Because this is the biggest decision that you're going to make in your life. Not your house, not your car. It's the person you're supposed to spend 40, 50, 60 years with, if possible. So it's a lot of pressure that goes into that decision. And that's a decision that you cannot make if you are insecure. So, yeah, hell no would be my answer to that.
Okay.
I would say succinctly, it depends on what those insecurities are. We tend to use that word very loosely as it relates in relationships. And sometimes the things that people call insecurities are actually boundary issues that we don't have in relationships. So it will have to be qualified and defined what insecurities are, because a lot of times people throw that word around, but they don't give it, or more or less center around a contextual framework. So we got to ask ourselves the question, what is security? Insecurities, because some of the things that we deem as being insecure is actually a boundary issue. And a lot of times, you know, I tell men, and in relationships, men should set clear boundaries. But sometimes our women use shaming language and they call that insecurity. And a lot of times it's not insecurity, it's just an issue with boundaries. So I think we need to define that or more or less contextualize it based on what those quote unquote insecurities are.
Okay, right. I think that's good.
That's good.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So what I got as a man that's been married twice and is about to get married again is that insecurities can happen, but they need to happen in brevity. Okay. So most of the time when a man is insecure in a relationship, myself in particular, it comes from a lack of being able to provision. Fellas, we all go through our ups and downs, our ebbs and flows and stuff like that. And you feel the most insecure when you're not operating fully in your masculine, right? So, and it's hard to know, hey, is my lady going to leave me and while I'm down, you know, or is she going to ride with me until I come back up and surpass and overcrest what I've done before? And I'm going to tell you right now, the 2 times I've gotten divorced have happened when I'm down, you know, and I talk a lot about, you know, sowing and reaping and stuff like that. And these women have walked away from a potential harvest that they could have had that my current fiance is going to get. So yeah, you can be insecure, but it's not for too long. You can't stay down too long, man. Fellas, you got to get on your square. You know, brothers that are traveling men will understand what I'm saying. Right, there you go.
Right, no doubt. Good job, brother.
Hey, Guapo, question just real quick. When you say that you were down, are we speaking about finances? Or just period, just mentally?
Guapo, hit your mic. There you go.
I'm here. I'm sorry. So it can be anything. I don't believe when it comes to insecurity of a man, you know, finessing your girl or gaming your girl out of your life, that's going to happen regardless. You know, this is going to sound mad arrogant, but you've got to really feel like you're the star of the show. You've got to feel like you're the best option for your lady when it comes to the game part. But when you take a hit, you take a risk and take a hit, you want to know that there's at least some small level of loyalty that she's going to ride in that trough to you back until you crest that wave. And so I'm talking more about the financial more than anything else, because to be honest with you, listen, guys, what does Kevin Samuel say all the time? Beauty costs, right? I'm willing to pay for mine. You know, I'm willing to provide for mine. I got pretty daughters. I'm willing to pay for them too. But when you go through a hard time, you don't want your girl to jettison like the plane is going down. So I would definitely say it's about finances primarily. I think, come on, let's keep it real. If you guys have been in relationships and been in marriages, when do women normally leave? Why do most marriages break up? It's not infidelity. It's finances.
Yeah, infidelity is number 3 on the list. Finances is number 2. And then they say irreconcilable differences is number 1. And that's really ambiguous and nobody can really define it. But of course, that's just people that just get tired of each other. And so why does somebody get tired of each other? You know, look at number 1. Why do divorces is happening? And for men, the 3 reasons, there's 2 main things that we're here for, right? Provide and protect. So think about the reasons why a man would be insecure. And to JR's question, can insecurity last in a relationship? You know, fellas, let's think about our women, man. Am I fat? Do you like my hair? What do you think of this dress? insecurities for women oftentimes comes in their beauty. It comes in how they look. It comes in the makeup they wear. It comes in the things that they put on. It comes in how fat or skinny they are. For men, it's that bank account, right? Just like my man said, Guapo said, man, how that bank account looking? I know when I'm down, I can't even think straight. My sex game is whack. I don't want to go nowhere. I don't want to do nothing. I'm trying to figure out how to get up. But when I'm up, boy, my security is good, right? And then this comes the security part, right? Are you strong? So men, there's a vainglorious part of us too. So we want to make sure that we look good. We want to make sure that we're strong, so we can do that safety side of the safety and security. But if we are lacking in either one of those, that's usually when the divorces come around. That's usually when somebody starts talking, and then that sign language starts getting hit on you all the time from your woman, and next thing you know, you just checked out and you want to move on. So now here's where I think relationships can potentially continue if there's insecurity in it. I believe it's if they're both two people insecure. So if one person is down and another person is down, and they know that they're like, maybe you got a woman and she knows that your money ain't right and she's holding you down, or maybe you got a woman that maybe she's a little overweight because she just had the baby, and she's feeling real bad about her looks, and she's looking at her stomach and the stretch marks that just showed up, and you really supporting her, but maybe you working on it, but you working on your money and she's working on her physique, and you guys are doing it together. Then I think that's where it could possibly last, but it won't last long, like Guapo said. Now, if one person is good and the other person is bad, and somebody's always pushing on them and talking shit to them, then it ain't gonna last. It ain't gonna last. The best relationships is when you got two fully secure people. Those things, they last for decades.
Or evenly yoked in the BS. I like that, Shan. That's dope. That's exactly. I like that. Yeah.
It's funny because I think everybody in the panel, I'm not married, but the example I have is my parents who've been married for 40 plus years. And I have never seen my mother put down my father. Not one day in her life. He came to the States from Ghana. He put her through nursing school.
Right.
He worked as an international banker. He lost his job because he tried to open a branch in Ghana. He came back, didn't find work, so he went to get his master's and become a social worker, which was a complete disparity in salary. She still cooked every night. She still did the laundry every night. Never talked to him crazy, even when he wasn't working. Right. Here's a question for El Guapo, Shan, Lapeef, Kosha, and Gerald. Do you think the modern day woman, has that type of patience, that type of integrity, not to belittle her husband when he's down?
I was gonna say, I don't think they make them like your mom no more. That model was discontinued.
Right.
Okay. So that's why. But so is it fit? That's the question. So it's to Guapo and Shan, and everybody else that's married. Is it fair to say, if a man is not at his A game, he should not be getting married?
But I don't think that's fair because of this one point. If you've lived any measure of life, if you lived any measure of life, everyone has gone through a job change. Everyone's gone through an income change. Everyone's made that transition from one career to another career. So, I mean, I'll tell you just my personal experience being married. I didn't meet her that way. She wasn't that way when I met her. We had to grow into that. We had to literally grow into that because she didn't see, and I say this quite often, I think men are designed to see linearly long distance. Women see 360 degrees. They'll get wrapped up in the details while we're seeing long distance and the vision. We'll run through the brick wall because we know where the destination is. We'll run up the hill because we know where we're going. Whereas, they're like, why are you running up that hill? Why are you going that direction? Why are you running this direction? Because they don't see the long. And I think we're designed purposely that way, because if we both get wrapped up in the details, we'll never get anywhere. If we both are just focused on the destination, we'll never see the attacks from the side. we'll never see the stuff coming from the back end. So I think purposely, like my wife, she was not designed that way. I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I'm not mentally designed to work for anybody. My brain won't work that way. But she didn't understand that. And it took a while for her to fall into the groove. And mind you, now we're 14 years apart. But for me, it took me, because I had the 14 years on her, I had the patience to know that she would fall into that cruising altitude. Because women generally fall into that cruising altitude around 30, 35, 40. They fall into that cruising altitude and say, wait a minute, everything I thought that was so serious at 2025 really ain't that big of a deal. It's not that serious. Because bottom line, end of the story, and I'm a Southern boy, I'm just going to keep it a buck. Mm-hmm. It don't matter what you have at 40. You need somebody that's going to wipe your behind at 80. Mm-hmm. Real talk. Mm-hmm. And you figure that out about 45 or 50. So real talk. I mean, I think that's where that changes just a little bit.
Gerald, how long you been with your wife, and you married her when she was how old?
She was 33. She was 33. She's 36 now.
Oh, so you've been married for 3 years?
Yeah.
Dope. Okay.
Well, you know, there's a concept that I did a show a while ago called Taxation Without Representation and the Mental Breaking of the American Male. And I say that succinctly. Basically, it means that American men have more or less been hoodwinked to more or less accept subpar behavior. And, you know, I am one that says that a man should have sustenance and he should have resources and all that. But what happened to honor? One of the variances that most men had when they got married, once that woman walked down the aisle, was to honor and to obey her husband. But what happened to honor? Because let's flip it. Suppose I get a wife, and you know, I've been married for 26 years, 25 years to be exact. But suppose I said, because you lost your breast now, because you had a double mastectomy, I don't want to be with you anymore. And so I think a lot of American men has been pigeonholed to more or less assume that they got to always be on their A game. And so when you look at it through the lens of psychology, then you're actually serving her instead of her serving you. The man's table is his kingdom. And when a woman comes to a man's table, she should bring those accoutrements that's going to help him be a better man. But if we're constantly serving her, then how can we be about our purpose? And that's the problem with a lot of men. We're getting women that are not wife ready or wife minded. So I would ask the question, why are we subjugates to women that have not been conditioned to serve us? Me and Guapo, we were down in Brazil. I was in the movie, going to be in the movie Frustrated 3. And I met Guapo.
I wasn't in Brazil. I'm just messing with you, man. But my girl might be watching, but yeah, I wasn't.
No. Well, when I.
Oh, really?
But anyway, yes, him and I would talk. We did a lot of talks back and forth, you know, when I was in Brazil, you know, and we did a lot of talks back and forth. And so my whole point is, women from other countries are socialized to more or less love, honor, embrace, and obey their men. Men are conditioned to be simps. We're conditioned to be what I call conscious and unconscious simps. And so a conscious simp is somebody that his internal hard drive realized that he should not be a subjugate to a woman. You know, he's a conscious simp, sacrificing important masculine principles. That's a conscious simp. But the unconscious simp, more or less says sacrificing irrational male patterns. He doesn't know that he's a simp. So men in America have been conditioned to be subjugates to the American woman. And so I said, give me liberty or give me death, because many men have been more or less conditioned. And because of that conditioning, men are not getting the things they want. Teddy Pendergrass said it better than I could say it. He said, it's so good to love somebody and somebody to love you back. But we don't get that. That's why men are going abroad. That's why men are traveling abroad. That's why men are going to other countries. My man Guap, he got a beautiful wife. She's Latin, you know. And this brother, you know, when him and I talked in the past, he married Black women, but we're looking for women that can more or less raise that masculinity, especially if she's a feminine woman. And that's what's happening to a lot of men. A lot of men are suffering on the inside because they have a schema affliction. And because of that schema affliction, it's due to the things in the past that they have dealt with because they haven't gotten the things that they love. So I asked her the question, is she willing to honor and serve me in my tough times? Because I've been there. But if she's about to jump ship, then when I get to the mountaintop, then I might be going too.
You know what the issue is with that is that a lot of that is our fault.
I
And
totally
it's our
agree,
fault.
bro.
Yeah,
You're right.
because it's
I agree.
because we like let's take women out of it. We measure ourselves based on income.
Mhm.
Like if somebody don't make as much, oh, he made what? Oh, he okay. You down there compared to being a period where we making this 6-figure salary, whatever the case may be. So it's like, can we really blame women for judging us based on our income when we judge each other off of it?
Mhm.
And that's an issue that starts early. So what that does is that programs us to be like, okay, it's all about the bag. It's all about the bag. And just like we just spoke on earlier, whenever a man's income is not right, we not right mentally. And that's crazy because this could be a stand-up man. This could be a man that goes to work every day. This could be a man that's faithful. This could be a man that takes care of his kids. But if he's not making enough money in his head, I feel like I'm not worthy.
Mhm.
And oftentimes that'll reflect on the relationship and that'll kind of bleed into her. And which is why I say like men kind of program women to think that way because at the end of the day, we set the table. We are the men. We are the leaders.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to start valuing ourselves about something that's outside of income. And then women will follow suit. But until we do that, we can't really blame them for judging us based on solely income.
Right, you know,
To a degree, Karen.
Right.
Trill's 100% right in regards to that. But just a little pushback. When someone has all those values as leadership, honesty, accountability, transparency, dignity, usually they say money is a byproduct of that, right? So if you have all those attributes and you don't produce money, that's when the confusion comes in with women, right? You're handsome, you're tall, you're a networker. You have all the attributes that these guys who are making money have money, but you're not making money. Where's the disconnect? And the disconnect is also could be patience, right? Also, it could be the fact that men, we have to be real. We have let women down as a whole. Women have become more independent because we have become less dependable.
That's a fact.
The reason why women have become more independent because men as a whole have become less dependable. And I'm not talking about the guys on the panel. We clearly know y'all all do your thing, but the majority of us, we not rising to the occasion, right? And so it produced these group of women who don't want to take orders, who don't want to collaborate, who just want to be combative because they never had real men. Remember, it's a numbers game. It's not enough for y'all to supply all the women that's single. Let's be honest. It's not enough of us. So at some point, people got to start accepting the fact that, because people don't want to do polygamy, but accept the fact that not everybody's going to get married, right? For example, let's do the stats. Only 8% of the Black community makes over 6 figures. So why does everyone want 6 figures for, right? Why does that? If only 8% of the Black community makes 6 figures, only 16% of the world is over 20 feet tall. I mean, over 6 feet tall. Sorry, over 6 feet tall. But they want a tall man. The numbers don't add up. So somebody's bluffing. Are the ladies bluffing, fellas? I don't know. But what they want is not enough for them to. It's not enough for us to supply. I'm 6'1". I have 6 figures, but still, it's not enough for me to go around.
I'm 5'11".
So what do we do? So what do we do, Gerald? What's the answer? Because it's not enough. What do we do, El Guapo? It's not enough. What do we do?
I got something for you. If you guys are willing to listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
G, I don't want to jump in front of you, but will you allow me the floor for 30 seconds of grace?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
My man, thank you. Don't you like seeing brothers being respectful to each other? This is how we should beef. I got a philosophy that we should only beef on the golf course and on the chessboard. But nonetheless, King, let me throw this at you, man. Honest to God, I got to disagree with you, man. I think that more and more Black men are stepping up and kicking butt and taking names. I think per capita, if you put us against white men, Asian men, Latino men, those men can't operate in our world. They can't come and make something out of nothing the way that we can. And this is how I honestly feel. I really feel like Black men gets such a bad rap. And I don't know what your circle is like, but I'm looking at the circle right here. And we're going to be the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with, right? And even the Pookies and the Ray Rays have some level of, you've heard of honor amongst thieves, right? They have a work ethic. They have a desire to take care of their mama. Now, I don't know how much we've run in circles individually with white folks, and I'm not bashing white people or anything. I have white mentors. Some of them are white. But I'll tell you this, yo, black men are making a seismic shift in society, grasping and taking back the reins of leadership.
Yes.
For real. And look at what's going on right now. You give us a sliver of a platform. Man, I could be doing 800 different things right now, as kids, each one of you gentlemen. But what are we doing? We're taking the time to talk to the masses to make a change. That's huge. So what I will say is, yo, black men, what does O'Shea say? Black men are perfect. I don't know if we're perfect, but we're pretty freaking awesome. We really are. And I'm honored anytime I get to have an honest and eye-opening conversation with another brother. So I appreciate the opportunity. JR, thank you for letting me on to even speak to y'all. Because for real, women shouldn't be jettisoning from their black men so quickly. You can't hit the eject bar so fast. We're going to take our lumps. We're going to have to learn some things. But guess what? To bring it full circle, yo, we're in it for y'all. We love y'all. You guys can say what you want to. Yeah, I'm engaged to a white Colombian, but I've had 2 black wives and I got 3 black daughters.
Right,
so
right.
It is what it is, bro. You know,
I like that.
Right.
You know, it's funny that you said that too. I have no discrimination against Colombians because I dated one, right? But I'm gonna be honest with you. You still didn't answer the question, though, Guapo.
Give it to me one more time. And I'm sorry if I didn't. And that was I don't mean to be disingenuous.
That was poetic. But
Well, he wouldn't know because see, look,
you didn't answer the question. Hold on, Shan. Let me finish because you didn't answer the question because it's a numbers game. Like for example, when I was attending Columbia University for my master's, it wasn't too many straight black males for the black females. Black women, and the statistics prove they are going to school more than us. They are getting more degrees than us. They're getting better jobs, and they are starting the most businesses than any community in America. Not saying that black men haven't risen to the occasion or shift the paradigm a little bit, but it's not enough numerically. That's the question. What's the solution for the numerical issue? Because we need more of us for them.
I misunderstood your question. And G, jump in there. We're gonna keep this rolling with JR gone. Listen, we're black men. We're a tribe. Next man up. So G, go ahead, and then if you'd like it, I'll jump in. All right, we're gonna hold this down until JR gets back. Go ahead, fellas.
Man, King, I want to tell you, okay. First of all, I'm gonna tell you, I'm a financial planner. If it has to do with money, I got a license to do it. That's what I do across the country. That's what I do. I make money, have money babies. So I do all of the research as far as that's concerned. Let me tell you how this breaks down. What they're not telling us, man, I'm so passionate about this. Hear me when I say this. What they're not telling you is that when they say that women are starting more LLCs, black women are starting more, they're not counting the brother that started a yard service that's got 125 yards that he cuts for $150 every single week. They ain't counting him. They ain't counting the brother that's actually got the cleanup service that he loads everybody's stuff into his truck and take it out to the dump for $50 a pop. They're not counting him because that brother can't get an LLC because he's got a felony. They're not counting them brothers. When I tell you this all day long, I help these brothers build tax shelters for their children and for their mothers of their children. And I'm telling you that the numbers won't count it. You won't see it in the census. You won't see it in any number. You won't see it on a news report. But when I tell you I'm in the trenches and in the hood, these brothers, what Guapo said, they are killing the game. They're killing the game. And they're not giving us credit. And to your point, Guapo, and to your point, Shannon, Here's the facts. I lay it down all day, every day, that give any other ethnic background, any other race, any other religious background, they will not thrive with what we deal with on a daily basis. We are intrinsically and we are DNA, genetically predisposed to rise above every wall put in front of us because we do it like nobody can and ain't nobody can do it like us.
Right,
Ain't got a choice. That's real rough.
Facts.
And they don't care.
That's real.
But they don't care, right? Other races don't care what struggle you went through. They love their privilege, right? If the shoes would switch, I would love that privilege too, but it's not. They don't care what we're going through. They don't. So why we keep on bringing up and saying that we go through so much? They don't care. We have to get out the whole thing and say, okay, we're doing good for what we got. I'm talking about the facts. Our black women need more men like y'all. What is the solution?
Solution is simple, bro. I'm gonna tell you what it is. The solution is us passing the game around just like we doing right now. Fact is that I'm in the corporate world, right? So you got like a lot of people that look like us. They'll get in a higher up position, and instead of dropping that ladder down, so we can bring up some more of us, they'll pull that motherfucker up. Part I don't mean because they'll pull it up. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like, okay, I'm here. I ain't about to jeopardize my situation. You feel me? Like it's that type of thing compared to like, look, if I done figured out the game, I'm gonna pass it to 5 or 10 of my guys. They gonna pass it to 5 or 10 of their guys. And you look up in about 5 to 10 years time, we done closed that gap significantly between us and everybody else just based on us passing the game around. But instead, we got that slave ship mentality. We got that, okay, I'm in the house now. I was in the yard. I'm in the crib. So this is a better situation than what I was in. I ain't trying to jeopardize that. So anybody that's outside that's trying to, link up with me, hell no, I don't want no part. You stay over there. I'm over here living good. Me and Master living good. That type of situation then transferred to today. And it's like when anybody reach any kind of success, we be a little hesitant. We be like, I don't want to jeopardize my situation. So I feel like that's what's going to change it. Us like putting each other on game as soon as we get it. Not like when we no longer feel like that person is a threat, which is what a lot of us do.
Well, there's an old saying that says, oh, how good it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Mm-hmm. And, the synthetic barbershop has actually dissipated. We don't have it anymore. And so back to a question, I don't know, it was Malawi King. I don't know who asked the question. I don't think men are actually leading with money themselves. Dr. Tia Son Johnson talked about how a lot of women have more or less extraneous expectations of men. They expect men to come into relationships, giving them, having $100,000 jobs. And so I'm going to say this to be the agitator or the devil's advocate. I believe that a lot of women had opportunities to get solid men at some point in their life, but they look past them because of a conditioning called hypergamy. They're very hypergamous by nature. And so sometimes instead of them looking at the average guy that was a good guy, they look past them because they thought they could get something better. So they became victims of their own arrogance, but also victims of their own internal hard drive. The feminine hard drive, unless that woman has been conditioned to see the inherent value in a man, which comes through wife training, then they look for superficial things like height, swag, and money. I'm 6'5", 6'6". I went to UNC Chapel Hill. I went to one of the best schools in the country. Study hard, work hard. And but it took me years to get here. The average man is not going to get here overnight. But the point is, can she be like my man Guap always say, a feminine amplifier? Can she be a feminine amplifier? Somebody's going to amplify the masculine vibration within that man to help him become the best version of himself. And so when you go to countries like in the Latin African countries, I think King Marley would say he's correct. Those women have been conditioned to be wise. They've been conditioned, but the average woman has not been trained and socialized to be a wife. She's been trained to serve herself instead of serving her man, which in essence makes a man a simp, because men now are conditioned to serve the woman instead of her being conditioned to serve him, and then they work together as a team. I said in the past, relationships are like a symbiosis. It's a symbiotic relationship. The man takes care of the woman takes care of the man. When she's taking care of him, it becomes a melange. They literally dance. It's like a dance. But the problem is now there is no dance because there's too much contention. And so many are singing that song by Patti LaBelle back in the 90s, I'm on my own. And, because they look past good brothers that could have given them a safe haven, but because of their own ignorance and own malfeasance, unfortunately, some of them going to die alone, as Kevin Samuels say, or walk the plank. So it's self-sabotage, man. And a lot of guys, you know, the women that, you know, what's the guy said back then they didn't want me, now hot chicks, they all on me. A lot of guys are saying you didn't want me back then, now I'm on my apex. And so I'm gonna rock with the African chicks that show me love, or the Afro-Latin chicks, or the Colombians or whatever. They're gonna rock with the women showing them love. Because see, men are born, women are born, but men are made. I had to work hard. I had to work my ass off to become the man that I am now. It took me years to become this man. And so you think you're gonna come with me now while I'm on my apex? No, you can't rock with me. You can't rock with me in my downcline. You can't rock with me on my apex. So it's that we live in a very materialistic country where women are more or less not taught to have honor for the men in their lives. Because men are loyal by nature, and we remember and take care of the women that were loyal to us.
Man, kosher. Oh, my bad, JR. My bad, man.
Go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
Listen, just to piggyback real fast, kosher clinician. Great minds think alike. I'm not saying I'm great, but your mind is. Let me tell you something. The question that you asked, King, is absolutely true. Are there enough eligible black men? If I concede the point that no, there are not, and we take it away from the black male and female thing and we put it on the job market. I'm currently hiring for some positions in my company, some high-paying positions. Okay, I'm hiring and vetting people. If the jobs that people want are scarce, what do people that want to be competitive do? They compete. So the question is, okay, I'll concede that there are not a lot of really good, high-quality black men, but are the women that want these men, I'm not saying they're black, I'm not saying they're white, I'm not saying they're Latina, anything like that, are they competing? That's the true question. That's what separates winners from losers. Okay. And just like I don't get to make the excuse, oh, I wasn't born into money or anything like that, or I don't have this privilege or that privilege. I'm going to compete. And that's what we really got to focus on. That's the message that has to be. Check this out. Life isn't fair. Life isn't fair. It's not fair for men. It's not fair for women. But what I will tell you is those people that choose the winners and choose the losers. And we have a lot of choose the losers. Listen, guys, give me 1 second. My 7-year-old is calling me. I don't get to talk to her often. I'll be back in 7 minutes. I'm sorry, JR. Please forgive me. She's out of North Carolina, man. Give me 1 second.
So JR, so let me put something out there. I definitely agree with Guapo that women need to compete because there's not enough of us eligible men for them, right? If they're not married, they're probably in jail, or they probably don't like women altogether, right? And I also understand where kosher was coming from in the fact that women need to be with a man with a purpose. And if a man is serving a woman, it can never be the true family structure that's needed to build up the community, right? So here's a little pushback, because I'm the king pushback and the trigger man. I get trigger happy sometimes. So let me just push back. And I know kosher can handle it, right?
Right, no doubt.
Kosher, are you telling me that women are not supposed to have their own purpose? Forget everything they work for and just get under a man and fulfill his purpose? That's what you're telling me?
Right. So
and also is Guapo telling women, you know what? You got your degrees, you got your home ownership, you got your money and your job, but you still need to compete for me. So this is what y'all telling me. I agree, but I want you to dive into that. Why is that? So why should a woman forget about her own purpose?
That's fine. That's an excellent question. So I'm going to be the agitator, because I'm gonna drop some fire for your mind.
Thank you.
So here's the deal. The deal is this, and I look at it through the lens of theology. I know some people might not believe in it, and that's fine if you don't believe in it. But woman was made for man. Her purpose is to serve him. And when she worked to serve him in the beauty of righteousness, then she will get served on the back end. Too many women come into relationships expecting to be served and still coming in ready to be served, to serve that man. When she pour into him, the man is the son. She will reflect his glow or his glory. But the question is, we got to ask ourselves the questions, are these women actually worthy of the men that they say that they more or less want? Let's go back in time. I grew up old school. I'm 50. My mom is 70. My dad is 78. They've been married for over 50 years. What men got as a standard back in the day, it's not even a standard anymore. What did men get 50, 60 years ago? Most of them got virgins. They didn't have no kids. And they were willing to compliment that man. But it's almost like there's inflation in relationships now where men are actually expected to be more, but the women themselves actually bring less. So her purpose is to bring life to his kingdom. That's her purpose. Many women have aborted their purpose, seeking careers and chasing after a whirlwind to the point that many are alone. You know, Kevin Samuels talked about it all the time. They're alone. And many of them now, Mallory King, have developed a schema affliction. A schema in clinical therapy actually means a thought pattern. But the affliction actually come through pain. And so a lot of these women are actually going to go through a schema affliction because they more or less aborted their right to get with good men at the time where they were supposed to get it. Hot girl summer. Men look right past decent brothers. I'm 6'5", 6'6", played ball, but you know, I was very popular in school, but there were girls that showed me love in high school, and I'm okay with it. It made me a better man. But now all of a sudden, you know, when you're about 300 pounds, 250, now you want to holler. I can't do nothing for you, boo. Because you don't meet my standards now. So my whole point is I'm a firm advocate for men living their lives on purpose and getting the best outcomes that they want. I'm a firm believer in that. And so I say when the woman comes to the man with the mindset willing to serve him, then that man, that he's a righteous man, will turn around and serve her. Black girl magic. We don't talk about black boys rise. We need to have shirts that say black boys rise. Black boys have not been conditioned to be see themselves as anything but a utility for a woman. But men have feelings too. That's why I started my YouTube channel, The Kosher Clinician, because I said there are 7 steps that a man must go through in order to become an optimized male. That's family, faith, female psychology, finances, world travel, politics, mental health, and physical health. Once he goes to those 7 core variables, then he becomes an optimized male. But until he understands female psychology, he will continue to be what I call a conscious or an unconscious simp. And that's what a lot of men are. They are simps. And they don't know it because they don't know any better. So I love to see brothers coming together like we're in this panel right now. As a therapist, I believe that black men need to be empowered. All men need to be empowered, but especially black men. We have low self-esteem. When I went to Brazil, you know, we were treated like celebrities. You know, I was treated like one, you know, me, Al Grease, and, you know, and a lot of the crew, we were treated well because those women see us as being valuable. I created a term called the commodification of subjugation, meaning men are seen as commodities to be subjugated to some women, but men should be commodities of glorification, where she sees that man as a tool to sharpen him, to make him the best version of himself. When she pour into him and reflect his glory, then he's at his apex as a man. But the problem is many men are in relationships where they are dying on the inside. And because they are down on the inside, they turn to nefarious things like alcoholism, a bunch of rampant sex, and some even turn to murder and or suicide. So I started this show, The Kosher Clinician, out of a process called sublimation. And sublimation means where I have those impulses to do something bad, I'm going to take it and do something good. So I count it an honor to speak with these brothers because it's something that's needed. And that's one of the reasons why I became a therapist, because when I taught special ed, black boys were more or less seen as bad. And many black men, they are seen as, they feel like they're less than. But if you ever get that passport and travel abroad, you'll never see the world the same again. Those women have been trained to be wise. And it's not some of our women's fault. Some of it's not their fault. There's some good sisters out there. So shout out to the great women that are listening, because there are some good women. But unfortunately, it's not enough. So I asked a woman, like President John F. Kennedy said, what can you do for your country? I say, what can you do for your man? That's what I say.
This is great conversation, fellas. Real great conversation. You guys kind of touched on some of the questions that I wanted to pose, but I'm going to still move forward with it. The question that I have now is, would you say most black women today do not appreciate the black man? Most black women today do not appreciate the black man.
How can they? They don't appreciate themselves.
Yeah, I can hop
How
on
can they
that too.
appreciate if they don't appreciate themselves? You gotta love yourself before you can love me. Right? So, you know, appreciating yourself doesn't mean because you have a higher quality of life that you love yourself. Right? What resonates with your soul? What resonates with your core soul? What makes you really happy and wake you up in the morning? What gets you fulfilled? A lot of women can't answer that, so they can't even address me. And it's vice versa. If I don't love myself, I can't love my woman. It starts with home. So I would say for both parties, no, we don't love, because we still trying to learn to love ourselves.
Yeah, I would say, how can you appreciate something that you're in constant competition with?
Right,
I mean, it's
right.
just like in sports, LeBron and Kobe, let's use that for example, right? When we competing against each other, we're not thinking about appreciation. I'm thinking about winning.
Right, right.
But after we retire and we look back on the career, it's like, damn, I had my most, valiant battles with this guy. And, I put up 40, he put up 40. He's a hell of a competitor. So now we appreciate each other now, but at that point it's too late. So I feel like that type of situation translates to the state of affairs between black men and women. Like, we are constantly competing with each other. Like, black women are like very proud of the fact that they're the most educated group on planet Earth, and very proud of the fact that a lot of them are doing better than us in terms of education, in terms of income and situations like that. So, I think, Shahrazad Ali said it best, like, black men are the most disrespected leaders in existence.
Right.
In terms of every race, like every other race, you look at every other race, Asian women, white women, Spanish women, they all look up to their men as leaders. Black women don't necessarily look up to us as leaders. A lot of them feel like, I can do it on my own. Like it's cool to have you here, but I can do it on my own.
Then go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? So, and the irony is a lot of them are going ahead. It may not be by choice, but they are going ahead. You know what I'm saying? So it's a situation, like, just to answer the question bluntly, I feel like they don't appreciate us. And that's something that got to change if we're going to ever close this 400 to 500 year gap that we got between us and other cultures.
Real talk, man. I believe, honestly, one of the issues that really hit me hard is that you hear all across the board that, black and women in general, they multiply. Everybody's heard the phrase that, you give a woman a seed, she'll make you a family. You give her a home. Blase. But what's not often talked about is that while women are the accelerant, women are the multiplier, men are the accelerant. I don't hear black women talking about that. Is that if you want to get to your purpose, if you want to get to your destiny, grab a black man that will run through walls, leap through troops, climb a mountain, bust through walls to get to the point. That's not talked about. That's not celebrated. And the competition that you talked about, Trill, that's the issue. Muhammad Ali touted George Foreman as one of his greatest opponents. He developed a whole different strategy just to fight that. But we shouldn't be fighting each other. I'm like Guapo, man. I got 5 daughters, man. Y'all, my 6 figures is broke. I got $5. They hit me over the head, brother. I got them going into college back to back.
That's real. That's real, though.
Real talk. You know what? And you know what? Their mother don't. I love her dearly. I appreciate that she gave me beautiful daughters, because my daughters are the most beautiful thing in the world. No shade, but I'm a dad. But the fact is, she didn't prepare for their future. I'm putting them through college. You know what I'm saying? If they need, they have to come to me, because there's no backup. Because dad's got to do that. But there's no celebration for that. I've said time and time again, black women don't provide the safe space for a black man to fail. Mm-hmm. And that's the security that black men need that nobody's talking about. Men need the security to fail, to fall apart, to let it drop, to switch jobs, to lose the job, to lose the bag. They need the security, like you spoke before, Kosher. They need the security to know that you're not going to bail when it gets grimy.
Right.
I need to know you on the team. I need to know you got my 6. I need to know that you got me no matter what goes down, because guess what? I'm a dude. I'm a man. and I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna run through that brick wall. I'm gonna make it happen. But I need you on my team. And if you can't wear my jersey when we lose it, you can't wear my jersey when we win it.
No, you got to be amazing at all times, Gerald. That's what's expected of you.
Right.
You got to be amazing. You got to be Superman at all times.
Right,
There's no days off. There's
Right.
nothing. You know, there's a thousand amazing people watching this broadcast right now, and there's not a woman in the audience who would say that she would want to date somebody who make less money than her.
That's
and
true.
so to ask the question, do black women specifically appreciate black men? Well, the first question I'd ask that black woman is, could you date a man that makes less money than you? And if you can't, then you really can't appreciate black men as a whole, because oftentimes you passing by people who make less money than you, who would be amazing partner for her.
Right,
who would be an amazing man for her, who can create a great family with her, but she's not looking at him. She's got tunnel vision and is looking right past that brother because she don't appreciate the fact that he's broke.
Right.
She don't appreciate the fact that he's only making $45,000. She don't appreciate the fact that he's driving an Amazon truck. You know, she can't appreciate the fact that he's an assistant manager at Sears. And so as a result, the women ain't checking for him. So it's hard to say that the black women appreciates the black men when the black women aren't even giving the black men an opportunity to be great. And so that's why I teach young boys, you got to be great. You got to become great. I talk to them in their 20s. You got to be great now. Don't worry about all that dating and having fun. You need to get your paper right, man, because that's how you're going to be measured later on.
Facts.
You know, it's crazy because, and this is how I know that the black man, particularly black fathers, are the most unappreciated beings on earth. I didn't say thank you to my father sincerely. I'm not talking about like when he bought me something, thank you, or being polite and being cordial. But I'm talking about from my gut. I didn't say thank you until I was in my 30s. Black fathers, particularly, are the most underappreciated.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
Do you hear what I'm saying? My father left me property. My father put me through school. My father fed me. I never had to worry about where I was living. But I thought that, like Shan said, that's what he was supposed to do. Right? Until I got older and realized, whoa, thank you. That was the first time I really said thank you from the gut.
Right.
You understand? Because I always said thank you. I'm polite. You right? I was raised right. But to have it hit you and realize the sacrifices he made, getting cancer but still providing, it wakes you up. It wakes you up. Because easy to say thank you to your mother from your gut. But how many children, adult children, little children, middle-aged children tell their fathers thank you to the point that they feel it.
Right.
They cry. Yo, you didn't have to do this for me.
You know what it is, King? Just real quick, not to even cut you off. I'm just gonna respond with a question. How many of us see our mothers say thank you to that man?
That's true. That's very true.
Wow.
That's why we don't do it.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
That's real right. Like if you really
Think
think
about
about
that.
it, yeah, if you really think about it, like our mothers, like they treat our fathers that's out here working, breaking their back, 14, 15, 16-hour work shifts, whatever. He come home and it's like, okay, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Even on like Father's Day. How many times we seen our mother like buy our father a real gift?
Right. Yes, sir. I totally agree. That's a valid point. No, they don't support and more or less value men. To amplify what Mallory said,
You know what I'm saying? So that's a situation where it's like it's kind of ingrained in us,
right,
to feel like, okay, what our dad doing as far as providing, that's what he's supposed to do.
What he's supposed to do, right?
That's
right,
real right.
No, but it's true. And I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah, but it's true. I saw it firsthand with my own father. My dad, during Father's Day and his birthday, I gave him $100. And I could see the joy beaming from his eyes and his heart, because the first time he felt like somebody cared about him. He had been conditioned just to be a slave or a serf, a term that Dr. T.S. Johnson called the CompuServe, but a term I created called the commodification of subjugation, a commodity only to be subjugated. And that happens a lot to a lot of our men. They've been conditioned to think that's what they're supposed to do. I felt that way. I felt that's what I was supposed to do. But what I'm telling men, to the men that are listening, you rather demand what you're worth. I don't give a damn if you're a regular guy working a regular job. If you're busting your ass for your family, if you're putting your life on the line to the point you are expected to kill, you get killed at any time if a burglar break in the house. That woman's supposed to honor and to respect you. But let's look at it on the flip side. Suppose men said that, you know, if you're not a virgin or, you know, you had a lot of kids by multiple men, then I can't respect you. Men have been conditioned just to accept anything. We just accept anything. And that's why when men go to foreign countries, they feel better. They feel loved because those countries have been more or less ran through patriarchy. We have a matriarchal culture in America where the men more or less follow the admonition or the expectation of the woman. And so in the clinical term, we call it negative socialization. It's negative socialization because the man has been conditioned to serve her. But there's symmetry once again when the woman honors and respects her man. He takes care of her, she takes care of him. It becomes a dance. But there are a lot of broken men in society. And like I said in the past, many men have gone to the grave broken. You can hear the echoes from the grave site of the stories of men in the grave because nobody poured life into them until it was too late. So I'm telling men, you have the power to change the outcome. Through positive reinforcement, she's not serving you, then you don't serve her. Because the more you serve her in behavior psychology, she's going to see you as less. Women, only they respect is strength and power. And so if a woman's going to look up to you, then you got to put yourself in the position where if she's not adhering to your expectations, then you either come up with an extra strategy or you cut her off 100%. Because that's all women respect is strength and power. Go ahead, Guap. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
No, you're good. You're good. So let a little bit of the veteran come out of me for a second, okay?
Right.
And yeah. One thing that I refuse to do is make excuses for men, especially black men. Here's the deal, fellas. If we are not willing to step up and be the leaders that we need to be, we don't deserve any woman, our women, any other women. I honestly make no room for people that are folks that decide that they're going to quit or perpetually lose without learning and stuff like that. But here's what I know for sure. I know that there is a huge contingent of black men that are out here getting it done, just like G was talking about. Those cats that, hey, might have a mark against them. They may have the felony or what have you, but they get out there and they find a way to do it within the confines of morality and the law, and they get it done. Now, to answer your question, JR, do black women appreciate the black man? KC, you are a licensed psychologist, right?
Licensed therapist, yes, sir.
Licensed therapist. Mm-hmm. I've been through therapy. I love my therapy. Shout out Dr. Douglas, you the man.
No doubt.
One of the things that he taught me is that life is not black and white. You have to be able to operate within the gray area. Mm-hmm. And just like I just said before, we live in a viscous environment. Mm-hmm. It's fluid. There's gray area. And I hate to answer a question with a question, right, but I pose this to the panel. Do black women appreciate black men as much as women of other races appreciate black men?
Yes, sir. Excellent. Yes,
and
sir.
That goes full circle. Now, I've never been to Brazil. Okay. It might have been a dude that looked like me and speaks Portuguese fluently like I do, but it wasn't me, right?
Right.
But with 15 years of that dude going to Brazil and learning other cultures and having a Colombian fiance, right, and traveling and dating around the world, have I felt more appreciated with all the battles that I've won and all that I've accomplished? Do I feel more appreciated outside? Yeah. Just like we go back to that, hey, a scarcity of jobs, a scarcity of husbands. Are the women competing? That's the real question.
Right.
Are they competing? Are they even reading the job application? Are they or the job description? Are they listening to what black men actually want and providing them with that? That's the key right there. So I'll tell you what, hey, if you want to be a loser as a black man, I got nothing for you, bro. This is the United States of America, land of opportunity. I don't care what anybody says. Go kick it in the favelas in Brazil and tell me you don't have a chance here. That's like, I have no sympathy for you. But if you're on your purpose and you're doing what you're supposed to do and you get it in, you deserve the fruits of your labor.
Right.
And guess what? Just like, I'm going to leave you with this. I was just talking about this. I got a strong black mother that I love, and she is absolutely brilliant. And she told me, Wapo, she said, don't just go where you're tolerated, go where you're appreciated, and even better, celebrated.
I totally agree. Right.
Do our black women celebrate us? I leave that for you to discuss.
Okay. There was a question that came up in the chats. And
Hell no.
What's the solution?
You wasn't letting that ride.
The question in the chat was, what's the solution? How can black women do a better job showing appreciation for the black man?
Well, listen, you know, I grew up in the church. I grew up Church of God in Christ. And I'll say this. The teacher said that you can't take new wine and put it into old wineskin. It's going to take the evolution of the mind of the American woman in order to do that. It's going to take years because many have been conditioned not to. That woman's going to have to do something called shadow work. She's going to have to do the shadow work to look at those hidden parts about herself in order to change the person that she is. A lot of our women brothers are projecting through vicarious trauma of their mom. But watch this. A lot of women got with dusty dudes, Raekwon, Man, and Shermite. They got with those dusty guys. And because of that, the good man that wanted to be with him, he didn't have enough swag. So what she had done, told her daughter, she projected her pain through her daughter, and they amplified it in the community. And now, unfortunately, a lot of those women are singing that song by Patti LaBelle that I'm on my own. But because they look past good men, they could have been good husbands for them. And so I don't see it happening in the next 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years, unless we have a Herculean effort by a lot of our women, unless we have a Jonathan Edwards revival where God touched their heart and they change. I don't see it. I don't see it.
40 years?
Man, listen.
40 years? We got to wait 4 decades before things change?
Socialization, Shannon, is powerful. And a lot of men are actually going abroad, plant their seed or plant their poles in fertile ground. There are some good women that are actually eschewed or more or less have been made pariahs. There are good women that want to do the right thing. But unfortunately, you have the female brigade that shamed those black women, calling them pygmies. These women want to serve their men, but these women have been shamed into silence because they're called pygmies. So I tell men, you cannot feed that narcissistic supply. You can't feed it. So what you have to do, you have to abort. And you have to set standards high. We got to get our men back on point. We got to train these young boys to love themselves because our young men have low self-esteem. They don't love themselves. That's why they accept anything. I remember when I came out of high school back in 1990. No disrespect to some women. I didn't look at chicks that had kids. I didn't even look at them. They didn't meet my standards. I didn't even look at girls, you know, that had a lot of fun because I wasn't like that because I was raised different. I was raised old school. My parents are still married over 50 years. So I was raised in a traditional black family. Parents are still married over 50 years. My dad's 78, mom's 71. But like I said, it's taxation without representation. A lot of our women have high expectations from the men, but what are they bringing to the table for that man? You want to give that man, you know, you after you had your fun, now you want him to serve you, but you gave your best years to unworthy men. And so now this man, after he's worked his ass off to get to where he's gotten, because Guapo know and all the brothers on the distinguished panel know, it's hard for black men. So when those brothers start exercising their options abroad, then you call them traitors, but you were a traitor. You're a traitor when you more or less adhere to policies that are deleterious to the black family. You're the traitor. And so I would say to some of the women, not all, but some of the sisters, you got to do the shadow work. Michael Jackson said it better than me. He said, I'm looking at the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And so until women start raising hell, and the older women teach the younger women how to be wise, because women, most modern women, right? It's not going to happen, Shannon. You're correct. So it's not happening. It's not happening, and I don't think it will happen. So I say salute to any brother that find peace and solace outside the confines of America. If he found a wife that's going to love him, that's been trained on a patriarchal culture, then so be it. But black men in America, brothers, have been emasculated. They are very emasculated. And they don't even know they're emasculated because they think the behavior that they're exhibiting is normal. That's why when masculine men like me speak up, it's very odd because they're not used to it.
Yeah, I see, Kosha. I agree with you, Kosha.
Right.
But there's one point where you're persecuting the black woman for her past, and so you're excluding this thing called growth and evolution, right? Where you're saying, I'm not dealing with you because you did this and you didn't acknowledge me. Maybe at that time she wasn't aware of who you were and how you and the man you would become. And to persecute someone for their past, that to me is a little bit judgmental, right? But I don't disagree with you, because that's the black man that you are. You deserve whatever you want.
Right.
But here's another caveat. In regards to us as black men demanding what we want, absolutely. If we earn the right to get the money that we want and live the life that we want and are the men of character that we should be, you deserve everything you need. But I don't know we should be that judgmental of our black women, but I do agree with you, because I have a quote that says, if a black woman desires to get married and she has a baby before marriage, it shows a lack of discipline. So I agree with you. Right. It shows a lack of discipline. If your goal was to get married and you had a baby before marriage, that's a lack of discipline. Right. So a man has the right to say, I don't want to be with a woman that has that, right? But then I had to humble myself and realize that we all have past. Like Jerry said, there's men that have felonies, such as myself, but they still do what they got to do. And they should be judged for their past. There's something called growth and evolution. So I want you to dive in that to a little deeper, because I don't want people thinking that you're judgmental. Right.
Well, that's fine. And I respect and I love your honesty. You're a good man. Watch this. We use that word judgmental very loosely. The word judgmental means to judge someone without qualifying information. Let me ask you a question. You went to Columbia University. If you did not have the right scores or the requisite scores to get into Columbia, they're going to judge you based on your lack of academic aptitude. So everybody must judge. You should judge if you want to get a good woman. Every man should judge, because she's going to judge you. There's a judgment called value clarification, and then there's a judgment of condemnation. You're not condemning a woman for saying, I don't want to be with you based on your values, because your values did not mesh with mine. Value clarification and more or less a judgment, a condemnation are two different things. But we've been so conditioned to use that word judgmental so loosely. It's ironic you said that, because I had a conversation with a client today. You don't think a woman judge you based on how much money you got? She's going to judge you. She's going to judge you based on your height and your penis size. She's going to judge you. So everybody judge based on their value system. You should have a value system. But the problem with so many men now, young brother, is that they don't have any standards. And so when men more or less set the bar high, she got to either rise up to that standard or she can't come into my life. Exactly. When I went into UNC Chapel Hill, I had to more or less reach their standard, because if I didn't reach their standard, guess what? They judged me. They didn't condemn me for who I am, but they did judge me based on their value system, which is an elite academic school. But we've been so conditioned not to think critically. Anytime we say something contrary to the norm, then you're judging me. I'm not judging anyone, but I am judging you against my standard, which is you need to make sure you become correct. That's why the gospel says if a man, before he can judge anyone else, he must look at himself. But I'll say to any young man that's listening, you should judge, but you should not condemn her, but you should judge her based on your standards as a man, because she got a standard. You got to be tall, 6 figures. You got to be able to sling it in the bed, and you got to have all these extraneous standards. But why can't the man say he have standards? Men can't have standards. We're just supposed to accept anything. And guess what? People will judge you for your past. That's just a qualifier of life. You're going to reap what you sow. That's me, that's you, and all the brothers on this panel. You will be judged by your past. It's okay to be idealistic and live in a world where we think there's a utopia. But we don't live in an idealistic world, neither are we in a utopia. So people are going to judge you. They're going to judge you. Like
Coach, I agree with you. Right. I agree with you. Maybe I'm just saying this because I love them hoes, dogs. I really do, man. I really do.
Yeah, no, but that right there leads me into my point. I feel like how we swing that pendulum is by men just simply demanding it in regards to women respecting us.
Right.
The fact is, a lot of men don't demand it. Like, we get the bending. Right. If she look good, that ass is fat. Pardon me, I don't mean to cuss on bro.
No,
if she look good, she's shapely, whatever the case may be. It's like, okay, I'm gonna start bending my non-negotiables. So what type of message does that send? You feel me? So it's feel like, okay, well, I don't have to be, you know, at this level. I can be here. And because I look good, he gonna deal with me anyway. So I feel like us, again, just means just not having a victim mentality. I don't feel like it's on women to change it. I feel like it's on us to demand it. Like, we are the prize. It's very few of us being successful. It's very few of us making six figures and all of that. But we don't move that way.
Right.
Even the men that's making six figures and millions of dollars, they still.
I was about to say, Trill. I was gonna say, well, hold on. Are you, by and large, yeah, but the brothers that you're talking about, the high operating top shelf, high value men, you think they don't move that way either?
I don't. And look though, here's an example. You look at PJ Washington, right? He would classify as the type of man that we talking about, right?
No, not
his dumb ass just fell into, got this Instagram chick pregnant. You look at a LaMelo Ball. He would qualify as somebody that's in his six-figure category, somebody that had a dad who was rich. He got tutelage or whatever, and he still went out there and got a chick that's 32, an Instagram model pregnant. That's dumb shit that just should not be happening. Because at the end of the day, like, he didn't have the wherewithal to be like, you know what, I'm here. I'm not gonna settle for a chick that's here just because she looked good.
I think you using PJ's young. PJ 19. He can't use PJ.
He's 22, but yeah.
He's 22. First of all, to be high value, you got to do it. You got to have been doing that for 5 years. PJ, so he don't even qualify yet. He's just a high earner. But
okay, Kobe. Let's use Kobe.
All right. Okay.
How old was Kobe when he risked it all? His whole career over that chick at the motel. You look at Tiger Woods. How old was he?
They were in their 30s.
Jesus, man, that's in the top 1% doing dumb shit behind the chick that just because she attractive. That's the type of shit that be throwing us off. To whereas it's like, if we was moving like kings, we wouldn't make them kind of mistakes, bro. It's situations like, you know what? Even if I do go out there and wild out, I got NDAs going around, baby. You ain't saying nothing in regards to this situation. But a lot of us is moving stupid. We not moving. What?
Right. Trill is right, man.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like, I just don't have a victim mentality. I'm not gonna ever blame my downfall on somebody else. No, I could have thought smarter, and I didn't. And I'm in a position that I'm in. So I feel like as men, we got to start moving smarter, and we got to start educating the people that surround us, even if they may not be at the six-figure situation. We need to start giving them the game. Hey, bro, no. You move like a king. You move like you making six figures.
Right.
That means that you ain't going for just anything just because she look good, just because the ass is fat, just because she popular, just because she got status. And I feel like once we stop doing that, women will be forced to respect us because we demanding it.
Right. I totally agree, man.
Yeah.
Right. Man.
Hey,
go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Wow.
Real fast, because JR, you asked a follow-up question. I just want to address it real fast. The question was, how do Black women actually show that they appreciate Black men? Am I right? Am I on point there?
Yeah, you're correct.
So once again, not to answer a question with a question, but let's take a step back and look at what we're actually asking. It would be ridiculous if Black men asked you, Black women, how do we be more masculine? Or how do you make us, better in your eyes? Y'all better huddle up. Y'all better figure it out. Just like I have no sympathy for the Black man when it comes to stepping up and doing what they need to do in their masculinity, I have no sympathy for you either. Sorry, not sorry. Check this out. And you're really going to hate this. JR, go ahead and get ready to put me off the panel real fast. Watch this. You better go and talk to those Beckys, those Marisols, those Mylings that are taking your men and appreciating them more. You better humble yourself and get some lessons, because just like I can have a white mentor in business, you can have a white mentor in femininity. Ooh, because clearly you're getting it wrong. You're getting it wrong.
Boy,
and I hate to say it, that's not just conjecture. That's real world scenario. El Guapo's experiences. And don't get it twisted. I said I've had 2 Black wives. My last wife was a beautiful Black Southern belle.
I want you to hold that thought.
Say again?
I want you to hold that off real quick because you transitioned right into my next question.
My bad. I'll stand by. Standing by, sir.
Okay. All right. And I did see that video, so that's what kind of generated this question.
Damn,
that Kevin Samuels video. It was dope. I'm going to ask you guys this. If you were single today, would you date outside your race, and why?
What half of us are single?
Well, okay.
Well, I've been married. I've been married to a Black woman for 26 years. But listen, it goes back to, what someone said earlier, like the young brother, the Triller said. We got to demand what we want. So yes, I would date outside. Race is subjective in my opinion. Or we're talking about Afro-Latin women, Black women, Africans. Yeah, I would. But also I would date Asian or European too, if that woman treat me well and meet my standards as a man. My first preference would be Afro-Latin or African women. But will I look at other women from other countries? No doubt. Why not? I don't care if a woman want to date somebody from a different ethnic group. I don't have a problem with it. If she want to date a white man, whatever, go for it. But I think men should have options too. And so if an Afro-Latin woman or African woman has been conditioned and trained to treat me right as a man, I'm going to be appreciated, not someone that's going to tolerate me just because. So I would. Yes, I would.
Okay.
I'll date any woman that identifies the Black man as God. If you can identify the Black man as God, I don't care what race or culture you're in, I'm going to talk to you. If you can't identify the Black man as God, then I'm not talking to you.
Okay.
I'm just going to keep it a buck, keep it a stack. My wife is not Afro-American. She's not African-American. And I'm like my man Kosher and like my man King. You know what? I have no qualms about what rapper you're in. It's about what's here.
Right.
And if you see me in my struggle, if you can identify with what I go through, if you can hold me safe when I fall, I don't care what rapper you in.
Mm-hmm.
Real talk. And I tell my Black daughters the same thing. I said, you know what? Black men want to see that you are here for them in their pain. They don't want to compete. They don't want to hold up cards and count how many struggles you had, how many struggles they had. No, they want to know that you're there. But real facts, a man wants to know that you in it for the long haul.
Right.
No matter what the journey entails,
right,
that you're going to the same destination. And if you can't be that, then you ain't ready to walk down the aisle. And guess what? My checkbook is closed.
Right.
Facts.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, gang. I couldn't do it, bro. It's just something about a Black woman that just intrigues the hell out of me. For one, it's a relatability issue. Like I say, I come from a very wild place, very, very wild place. So I need my woman to be able to identify with that, and I need my woman to be able to identify with how I think because of it. Just like my wife, we've been together 13 years. She's from the same city I'm from. So there is no lapse in, like, I don't have to teach her why my mindset is the way it is. Like why, when I'm at lights, my head is on a swivel. Like why I got to spin the block a couple times before I come back to my crib. Like I don't have to teach her those kind of things. She understands because she's from that environment. You know what I'm saying? So relatability is real big for me. And to be honest, I just couldn't see a woman that's not of that race and that's not a Black woman being able to identify with that. So no, I couldn't do it.
Okay. Well, I don't want to be a hypocrite because I clearly have a Colombian fiance. And even though she considers herself Afro-Latina, she's pale. She looks white to me. She don't like it when I say that, but she looks white to me, right? Just like I have the philosophy when it comes to hiring folks or employing people, I'm going to hire the best person for the job, best woman in this instance for the job. And I don't want to say I don't care what you look like, because I do care what you look like, but I don't so much care about the color of your skin. So are you going to do the job to be the feminine amplifier I need you to be? Is this about what you want to do, or is this about building a legacy for our generations to come? And if you can't get with that program, I'm sorry. Now, I've said this and I stand on this. And Trill, you'll appreciate this. Deep down in my heart, I will always give a Black woman the first right of refusal. Right. But that means that you better send your best representative, and she's got one chance to F it up. And after that, it's open. But for real, I'm hiring the best person for the job. So, yeah, I don't have a problem. I never thought I'd be married to a white Colombian or Afro-Latin or whatever you call it, but here I am. And I'll tell you this, when my pops was like, yo, you need to give her a chance, that was some real talk, because Don Guapo, that's my pops, That dude, he don't play. He's cold-blooded. You think I got a nice voice, you should hear him talk. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, hire the best person for the job. What do you guys want? Consolation prizes and participation trophies, women? How about you do the work and win?
Yo, I love Guapo. Guapo don't play when he tell y'all when y'all falling off. Y'all slacking. Y'all looking bad out here, washed up.
Well, you know, I think it's really sad, man, that we're actually having this conversation. You know, it's almost like, you know, and JR, that's an excellent question, but black men have actually been silenced to capitulate to the whims of their women, which more or less lets you know that we live in a matriarchy. In other countries, men don't capitulate to the whims of their women. They set the bar, they set the parameters. But we live in a country where men have not taught their sons standards, principles, and boundaries. And because of that, men feel like they are hard pressed to say, yeah, I'll do whatever. I'm going to say it again. If a woman treats me well, she loves me and honors me as a man, then I'm going to go with the woman that honors and respects me as a man. Tavis Smiley said that my skin folk are not always my kinfolk. So just because your hue or your exterior is black, your heart is not for the black man. So if your heart is not for the black man, if it does not beat, honor, and respect the black man, then I got a problem with it. Because the problem is a lot of our women have been compromised by liberal policies to disrespect their black men. And because of that, they are living these black men out on the island to themselves, where other women say, you know what, I'm going to scoop you up and I'm going to show you love. So men are going where they're going to be celebrated. Do I love black women? No doubt. I love black women. My wife is black, been married for 25 years. But if I got a divorce, will I consider women from other countries, Afro-Latin, African, and even Asian, or maybe European? It depends on the woman, how she treats me as a man.
Okay. Black man is God, like I said. And for those in the comments that got issues with that, I'm sorry. I don't worship a white Jesus. I apologize. I don't eat pork on Saturdays. Forgive me.
King, don't worry about them comments, dog.
At the end of the day, y'all don't love yourself to know that we are a reflection of the one and true living God, right? So why would I want a woman to look at me at the highest reverence? Why would I want her to look at me like God's son? Why would I want a woman to say, you know what? This is a representation of unconditional love from the only one true God. You take words and you go with it. This is why y'all eat pork on Saturdays and Fridays. This is why you worship a white Jesus with long hair that don't even look like you. This is why you want to be like a white man. This is why I don't even talk to half of the people on this thing. And I want y'all to know I still love you because you're ignorant and you don't know better. But let me address you right now. The black man is God. And if any woman that loves me, no matter what race, she has to think I'm the best. She has to know that I represent love. My mother is a goddess. My father is a god. I praise them, but I know they're not the true and living God. So this is crazy to me. This is crazy. Y'all talking like this.
No. So a quick little piece of advice. You never want to. That's why I don't look at the comments.
No. It's funny. No. The reason
like when I get on panels, people, I try to stay out of the comments because the comments can.
No. But I mean, you know, I don't care about this, but it's engaging. I gotta let them know I'm reading their comments. So keep on writing comments, have engaging, and it's all love. But you still worship a white Jesus. Good luck.
I already know I'm probably getting killed in the comments, but I never look. I'll look at it later on because it'll fuck up my whole perspective.
Your Jesus doesn't even look like you. Great job.
You gotta love, bro, man. You gonna keep it G at all times.
He's just throwing shots out there. I love King. You
gotta love him.
All right, you guys. Like, I just want to talk about this. There's been so much confusion.
Well, hold on, real quick, JR. I didn't answer.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I didn't answer, and again, I might get flamed in the comments, but in respect to all the brothers, I think I'm probably the only single brother on the stage. Everybody, I mean, most of you guys are speaking hypothetically, like if most people is married or engaged and whatnot. But I don't know, man. I'm rocking with Trill is married, but even so, he's speaking hypothetically. But I've never even had sex with a white woman. I've taken a lot of women down. I'm rocking with my sisters, man. I just love black women. There's just something about black women that's just so majestic, man. And so what turns me on, what's the aphrodisiac for me, what gets me aroused, what I like to look at, what I like to be with, what I like to talk to is just black women, bro. And here's the thing, I'm single. right? I'm twice married, twice divorced. Right now, I'm single. I'm probably older than everybody on the panel. I'm 49, born in 72.
I'm 50.
Oh, we got a 50-year-old. Oh, okay, cool. So, in this dating game right now, I still love my sisters, man. I love Black women. So, to answer your question directly, I can't see myself. I'll probably take one down. We can go to Pound Town. I'd take anybody to Pound Town. But in terms of being with somebody and rocking with somebody and being in a monogamous long-term relationship, I'm rocking with my Black women, bro. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Okay.
But, you know, I get it. People may hate me for that, but that's just how I feel.
Man, don't worry about it, man. Just speak your truth, man. You ain't got to worry about the comments. All right, you guys, there's been this confusion about what a feminine woman looks like, right? You know, we often have this talk, and you guys may be right, maybe partially right. It's just you guys' opinion. But what does a feminine woman look like to you?
A woman that's not dick measuring with me. I feel like a lot of that happens a lot. Like a lot of, again, just like we spoke about earlier, a lot of women, especially Black women, I got to speak on what I'm familiar with, are in competition with Black men. So it's like, say for instance, perfect example, I'll give you an example, right? My homeboy went on a date recently with one nice restaurant, super nice restaurant. And, you know, when the check comes, bro reached for his wallet and then she reached for her purse like, you sure you got it? You sure? That's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. It's like, that's not necessary.
That's a masculine.
What do you mean you sure you got it? You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of women, like, and if you just break down the ideology behind that, it's like, okay, I want to let him know that I don't need you. I don't need you to pay for this. I don't need you. Like, it's a luxury us being here, and I can take care of it if I have to. But so I just want to make sure you got. So she just wanted to like go overboard to get that message across, and that's what I mean by competition. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my take on that.
I kind of want you to expand a little bit about the energy as well.
As far as like masculine energy?
Yeah, I mean, just women's energy, period, because some women do not recognize that they're not being feminine. So just kind of touch a little bit on energy, and the same for all you guys on the panel, because we have some women that's watching and we have some men that's watching that may not even recognize women not being feminine or have no clue what that looks like. Right.
And I would say it's just second guessing your man unnecessarily. It's small things, really. It's not really big things. It's small things. Okay, like when we going, say, to a specific place or whatever, and you know, I'm taking the way that I know, right? Instead of you just sitting back, relaxing in the passenger seat, she trying to drive from the passenger seat. It's like, no, maybe we should turn this way. We can get there. It's like, hey, look, relax. I got it. Like it's a constant, like, kind of dick measuring contest. It's like, okay, I got it. I want to just keep reiterating that. It's like, okay, I understand. But it's like you don't have to keep like showing me that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of women do that like unconsciously. And I think it stems from, you know, a lot of them coming from broken homes, them coming from single mothers to where they watch their mother like have to be the man and the woman in a relationship. And women are taught, a lot of our Black women are taught, like, go out there, get your education, go out there, secure yourself so you don't need a man. So they bring that energy into a relationship, to so much so to where as a man we feel like, well, damn, what is our place in this? You know what I'm saying? It's like we supposed to be leaders or whatever the case may be, but how you carry yourself like you would be cool if I'm not here. Like you would damn near rather me not here so you can run it your way because you are so used to leading and because you watch your mama have to just be the man and the woman. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what, like, a lot of men are kind of turned off by it. Like, it's a lot of masculine energy and it's just unnecessary, especially when you got a man that's qualified, for one, and two, that's willing to step in there and take that pressure off your shoulders. Baby, look, I understand how you grew up and that's fine, but I'm a grown man and you my woman. You don't have to worry about leading. You don't have to worry about paying for things. You don't have to worry about like having to constantly control the situation and constantly prove to me that you are worthy of leading. I got it. Sit back. So I feel like that's what a lot of men's issue is in regards to women just being masculine unnecessarily.
This is why Trill is married, and this is why he has an amazing wife, because Trill has patience. I'm not going to even talk to them like Trill's talk to you. I better take notes from Trill, because me, I'm not telling you how to be feminine, but I know when you're not, I'm not around. That's what I'm doing. I'm not going to bother talking to you about being feminine, because I'm not a woman, so I don't know what that is. But these men are patient enough to tell you what they like. If I don't feel the vibes, I'm gone. I'm gone. And you could take your white Jesus picture out of my crib, because we no longer talk to each other no more. We're gonna keep on have that recurring joke. All right.
I love it, King. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it, man. I 100%. I'm with you, Trill. I'm with you 100%. I really think that it's a combination of a couple of different things. One thing that we didn't hit on, and I don't want to leave this out, is that, and I'm the first and foremost, I'm like Guapo. I don't give black men no way out. I'm not going to give you no excuses. I'm not going to do the same thing because I got 5 daughters and I don't care what shades they all on, different shades, they're going to be black all day. So I don't give anybody an excuse out. But there's one thing that I don't think that we hit on, is that in media, in movies, we reinforce the thought process that is the good, light-skinned, broke brother that has all of the characteristics, but he don't have any of the ends. He don't have any of the cash. He's not a 6-figure dude, but it's the brother that has the 6 figures that's abusive. That's across the board. We do that to ourselves in our own movies, in our own TV shows. What are we doing? And then we look at black women and say, why do you think this? Well, we reinforce that across the board. We do it consistently, on a consistent basis. And I think that's I think that's just glossed over so nonchalantly in so many different areas in these discussions, that we don't talk about that. And oftentimes black women, I don't want to say they're clueless, because that's not how I want to describe black women, but I want to say they don't really realize that they're ingesting a lot of information from a lot of different places, and they're making a decision, or they're making a prejudgment, like King was saying, about brothers, and brothers like King ain't here for it. They're like, I'm not going to have a discussion with you. If you're not bringing the vibe, I'm done. I'm going. I'm out of here. You can take your white Jesus picture and keep it to moving. And then and then the question is, where are all the good brothers at? Where are all the 6-figure brothers at? Where are the 6-foot brothers at? Where are all the good brothers at? Well, guess what? You have actually taken in false information, because like Guapo and I said before, there's brothers out here that's making it happen, but you walk by them because they hadn't hit 6 figures yet. They've come from $25,000 to $65,000 to $75,000 on the strength of the sweat of their brow, and they have a record. But you just walking by that brother. That's not our fault, man. And to your point, I'm not giving no pushback, but Trill, really, man. I mean, we can only do so much. We can only do so much.
I would say that the essence of a feminine woman is a woman that can mentally, one less, condition herself through discipline to follow the admonition of her husband. That's the first step. Mentally, she must be disciplined to follow the admonition of her husband. Women, a lot of times, do things based on how they feel, so therefore they can be slaves to their emotions. But a woman that's truly feminine mentally is a woman that, number one, honors, respects, and obeys her husband. That's the first step. The second mental element of a feminine woman is a woman that understands that her first purpose is to serve. If she comes into a relationship willing to serve mentally, then that's a great woman. I would say socially is a woman that knows how to conduct herself around other men, but also conduct herself as a woman of value in the community. And so, and then I would say spiritual is a woman that, regardless of what faith you believe in, is a woman that has a strong faith, understanding that when she's following her husband, she's really following God. So I would say a woman that's more or less can adhere to what we call in clinical therapy, the bio, psycho, social, spiritual. If she's calibrated in all those 4 areas, then she's a feminine woman, a woman that knows how to hear and listen to the pain of a man, a woman that tells you, said, baby, come here, let me rub your head. She's in tune with her husband's masculinity. She's willing to, help him when he's broken down. And like a lot of guys, well, a lot of men need loyalty. She's going to be loyal to him when he's down. So a feminine woman, in my opinion, must have all of those elements in order to be truly a feminine woman.
Hey, Coach, just real quick question, bro. I ain't disagreeing with nothing you saying, but what I'm saying is like as a woman, right? Just like you said, those type of things like valuing your man, placing your man high. A lot of these women come from broken homes.
Mm-hmm.
So where would they learn that mindset? Because in reality, like we emulate a lot of what we learn young. So if I see my mama, she ain't never had no man, or she ain't never was able to maintain a relationship. So I would never see what even like putting my man on a pedestal even looks like. All I've seen is my mama surviving and her having to do it on her own. So I would just ask, like, what would those women that come from those type of environments, and it's a lot of those type of environments, what would those women learn that from? You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's an excellent question. Well, unfortunately, there was a time where the church was a beacon of hope, but the church had become a den of thieves. I'm not saying all men of God. I'm not saying all, but some unfortunately have. There was a time where the church was the beacon of hope that taught more clarity. So I would say at first it starts there, but unfortunately, many pastors, not all, have used the gospel to pimp and more or less to confuse a lot of our women.
True.
But more respectively, a lot of our women need therapy, but therapy for a lot of women, they see it as a stigma. They think therapy is stupid. Kevin Samuels talks about it a lot. Everybody needs therapy. As a therapist, sometimes I might even can use it from time to time because it's part of the human condition. But a lot of our women have more or less dealt with trauma, vicarious trauma. Some have actually more or less dealt with molestation. They have a lot of baggage. Erykah Badu talked about the bag lady. She said, let it go. But you can't let it go until you uncover it in order to recover as a human being. We got a lot of walking zombies living in our society. And they don't even know that they are zombies. Like Harriet Tubman said, I could have freed a lot more if they didn't already know they were slaves. So my whole point is they've been slaves to the mental pathology that they're not aware of. And that's why they need therapy, and they need a lot of self-introspection, and they need a lot of healing. But until they're willing to take up those tools, then they will continue to walk in that cesspool. And unfortunately, Trilla and a lot of the brothers on the panel, a lot of our women love what I call the negative banner of being strong and independent. There's no such thing as strong and independent. Women were made to be soft and self-sufficient. And I talked about that on my show at one point. She was made to be soft and self-sufficient in a title or a show that I did called The Art of Femininity. But when a woman don't know what it is to be feminine, and she's been conditioned to think masculine, then she's committing something called self-sabotage. And it's unfortunate because some of these women don't know. But the question is, are you willing to listen? Are you willing to take the advice of other good sisters that are trying to put you in the right direction? But if you're not willing to listen, then you will suffer the recompense of your error.
Well said.
Wow. Can I jump in, guys? Shan, did you go? Shan, can you hear me? I'm good? Okay. So I'm going to attack this question head on because I think sometimes we can get lost, and no offense to anybody that responded already, but are we giving women actionable items that they can actually do? So what a feminine woman looks like to the men. She's smiling. Let's start there. And she's smiling because she realizes that her power lies within her femininity. Right. I recently was having a conversation about Brittany Renner, and think of her what you may. That is a self-aware woman, like ex machina, artificial intelligence, take over the world, understanding that femininity is her power, self-aware. She realizes that the things that a man is looking for. I'm going to tell you guys something. I don't mind being taken advantage of a little bit by women. And hey, El Wapo might lose some street cred and stuff like that. Do you know how many times a woman has had me cut her hedges and stuff like that outside after she's done the most feminine of feminine acts that morning? You know what I mean? Before we get out of the bedroom, take advantage of me, but don't do it trying to pull your imaginary phallus out on me because you don't have one. You can't operate in this world, but you can take advantage of me as a woman. Go ahead. Lapeef does it all the time. Let me tell you something. I am a huge proponent of the enthusiastic fangirl. What is fan? F-A-N. Feminine and natural. Ladies, I don't want to get deep in the weeds with this, but I'm going to say this. There's a reason that men like the pink and the nude and the French manicures on your fingers, because those blacks and browns and purples looks like your body is dead. That's why. There's a reason that men don't like that dark lipstick and stuff like that. It's because it makes you literally look dead. So what does a feminine woman look like? She's smiling. She embraces all of the things that make her feminine. And look, dude, use it to your advantage. Weaponize it. I don't care. I'll trick off the money. Wait till Lapeef gets home. I'm tricking off Colombian pesos for days when she gets home. You know what I'm saying? Because she's feminine. And that's a cool exchange. I don't mean to mention other content creators, but AMS says this all the time. You know, there's actually a fair exchange between the masculine and the feminine. You know, and if I got to give you some resources for you to be that feminine amplifier, I'm cool with it.
Right.
But fair exchange is no robbery. A lot of women out here are trying to rob the game. They're not trying to exchange true femininity. So, ladies, how about you start with a smile, a genuine smile? I think that'll help you.
Well, can a woman? Here's a question. I'm not trying to be funny, but can a woman be feminine and be fat?
King, here we go.
No,
Yeah, sure, she can be feminine and fat, but I'm not attracted to fat women. So
I'm asking that question. Can a woman be feminine out of shape? Because when the way you describe femininity, it deals with not just her behavior but her aesthetics.
Aesthetics definitely have their place.
Okay.
Most men are not attracted to overweight women. That you guys don't have to like that. That's okay. But most men are attracted to svelte or athletic women. They are voluptuous in the right places. Okay, like and I'm gonna tell you like this.
No, and Guapo, I didn't want to be rude or funny, but
no, it's not funny.
Because you said actionable things and you said smile.
I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, but
that's something that every woman can change right now.
I want smile. A smile, but I want you to really give them that. Yo, come correct. Yeah,
you got to hit the gym too. Check this out. Listen, I'm gonna give you this, and I don't want to monopolize the panel, but I'll tell you this. I tell the story of my fiance Lapeef and I getting together, right? And she's a short woman. She's 5'2". You know, and when I met her, she had been here in the U.S. for about 4 years. She had become a little bit Americanized, and she's very beautiful. She's a good-looking woman, and she talked to me about us having a serious relationship, you know. And I said, before I consider it, I'm about to get kicked off. I'm about to lose subscribers. Here we go, y'all. Just for you guys, JR. This is just for you, bro. I was like, you're gonna have to lose 25 pounds. Right. Dead up. I said it.
Right.
El Wapo said it.
Right.
Do you know what she did? Within 48 hours, because we didn't live together at that point, she went back to DC and dropped $1,400 on personal training lessons. Never said a word to me.
Right.
That woman is a size 2 dress now.
Right.
And she's rocking a 2.4 carat VVS 1 on her left finger.
What made you think you'll lose some followers because you said that?
Because, you know, people hate the truth, bro. These ladies hate the truth sometimes.
That's 100.
Here's the truth, though. We got to separate the wheat from the chaff. So, yeah, I want a woman that is in good shape. And here's the cool thing. Yeah, I'm visual as a man, but if you had the conversation with her, she would tell you how much better she feels about herself because she did something actionable and made that change. She feels good, but man, I get all these bikini pictures and stuff like that, man. I should show you. Want to see? No, I'm just playing. I'm not going to show you all. But yeah, she feels really good about herself now because she did that. And she wasn't obese by any means, but I know what I've worked for. I know what I want, and I made it apparent in that moment. So yeah, but most women, you're not going to be able to lose 25, 35, 40 pounds like she did overnight, but every woman can smile.
No, most women can do that. You know,
not overnight is what I'm saying.
That's the question I want to ask you before you jump in, Shan. The question is now: can a broke man be masculine?
I think so. 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 Listen, a man's essence is not always measured by the amount of money they.
I'm just asking the real questions.
Oh, no,
I like the way you did that. I like the way you did that.
King, dog. You gotta
go ahead, KC. Go ahead.
No. I think a man can. I went through a dark part of my life back in 2016 when I was trying to get my clinical license. But see, we tend to more or less equivocate a man's worth based on money. That's part of it, but that's not all of it. So can a man be masculine while he's on his downcline? Yes, because he can be a leader. You know, he can be a leader. So I would say that a man can be masculine and broke. You got to qualify what broke means.
Yeah, but yeah, coach, that brother that broke, just because he's down, don't make him broke. See, broke
right. No, I agree with you.
If we go with the mentality side of it.
I agree with you, Shannon. I'm agreeing with you. You're correct.
Yeah, you was never broke, kosher.
Right.
I suffice to say that at no point in your adult life were you ever broke. You may not have had no money.
Yes, sir.
Your bank account may have been low, but you probably wasn't broke. We know some broke brothers. Are those broke brothers masculine?
Right. And I still was masculine. I still held my family down.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
King, you ask a good question, man. So I would say yes. I think you're asking the wrong question, though. The question is, can a man be broke and masculine? That's not the right question. It should be, can a man be lazy and masculine? That answer is no. You can't be lazy as a man and be masculine. Right. You can go through a hard time and be broke in the interim and be fighting to get your way back there. But listen, just like, so let's keep it real. A man that's not willing to get out there and work is lazy. A woman that's not willing to get in the gym and tone her body up and be as sexy as she can be is lazy. I don't do lazy. I can admire somebody having a hard time and going through something. Robert, but we don't do lazy. So you feel what I'm saying?
You got my point. You got my point.
But see, hey, real quick though, we gotta kind of define what broke is, because it's a difference between, okay, I'm broke, I can't pay my bills, and I done paid all my bills and I got a little bit of money left over broke. It's a big ass difference between then. Like, as far as a man being broke and I can't pay my bills, like I don't have my own place to stay, I don't have my own car, I don't have my own. You can't be a masculine man in that type of situation. That's my view. That's just real rap, because
the reality of it. The reality of it is, if I took away all the money of all the brothers on the panel, if all you guys woke up tomorrow and your bank account was at zero, and the only thing I gave you was a laptop computer, how long would it take y'all to get y'all bread back? All you guys would get you
12 months, 12 to 18 months, and I'd be better.
I'm trading for a gun. I'm robbing somebody. I'm getting my
There we go. Let's go.
Let's going back to the feds, man.
Let's get into it. There we go.
So it's a mentality. So the broke side. So the question, and that's why he's saying, King, it was an odd question, because like for instance, if we all lost our bread and we just needed, if we just had to figure something out, it wouldn't take too much longer for us to get. But we all know somebody who's been broke since childhood. We know some brothers that's just destitute. In fact, they operate in poverty,
brokenness,
like an impoverished mindset is where they dwell in. And whenever something good comes along for them, they figure a way to screw it up. They throw a monkey wrench in it one way or the other, whether it's a job or an opportunity or some kind of asset or car. They're going to make sure they blow the engine gasket. They're going to do something to screw it up. And those people just have been like that for 10, 20, 30 years. It's like, damn, you never came up. Those people right there, every one of them I look at, there's no masculinity there. Mm-hmm. There's no masculinity. There's certainly no. No, go ahead.
You on
Let
mute.
me ask you this question.
GP, you on mute.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you're
Let me
talking
ask
to
you
somebody.
this
Hey, you guys
question.
go ahead, and then I'm gonna start bringing people up.
Gerald was talking. What you think? Gerald was
I
saying
think he
something.
might be talking to somebody.
Yeah,
He might be on the phone.
Gerald, we can't hear you, man.
I think he
Yeah,
might
We
be on
can't
the
hear
phone.
you. Get closer to your mic, bro.
There you go.
Hold
Can
on,
you
for
hear
you
me
just
now?
mute.
Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah,
That's
go
better.
ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. I got a question, King. Here's the question to you. Now, you made a valid question. You know, can a man be broke? And can he be masculine? The question is this. Can a woman allow a man to be broke and be masculine at the same time? Will that happen?
Hell no. Not the woman I deal with. The woman I deal with don't if they could pretend like that, but they can't do that. At the end of the day, I gotta produce.
Why is that? Why?
Because
How
the woman
come we fall?
and I
Why
always say,
can't we
I
fail?
think I said last show too. And I was joking about the whole get a gun. I was just joking about that. But to be honest with you, I went to my first master's was in education, curriculum instruction, and my second master's was another education degree, which is educational policy and social analysis. When I graduated grad school, I realized the type of woman that I like, and that salary wasn't cutting it. The teacher salary wasn't cutting it. The woman I like Chanel bags. The woman I like to travel the world. The woman I like certain things, spas, like certain treatments. So because of that, because of the type of woman I like, and this doesn't apply to every woman, it's not in a discussion. Every man they date has a little bread. You don't have to be a millionaire, but you have to have some type of money, right? So it's not a discussion. Every girl I date has to be pretty. That's not even a discussion. That's a guarantee, right? You got to be in shape. So before we even move on. So the woman I date, having a little money and stability is a prerequisite. It's a prerequisite, and I don't get mad about that because it's a prerequisite for me for you to look a certain way.
All right, I'm gonna start bringing up callers, you guys, and then take a few calls and then get us up off here. All right. All right.
Yo,
Rilla, what's
brother?
good, my dog? Good to see you, my
yo.
G.
What's going on, brother?
Shout out to the family, man. Shout out to the family. Gentlemen,
Thank you, sir.
epic freaking discussion. El Wapo, culture clinician. GP, man, good to see you back, my G. Good to see you back, sir. I hate that I missed it. I'm at work right now. I'm handling business, man. I just had to take a breather real quick. JR, you are a freaking genius. I know the chat is doing backflips and tumbling and trying to figure out where I was tonight, but this is an all-star panel. And these are the discussions that need to be had because, you know, what I was observing in the chat, you know, it's a lot of young bloods in the chat trying to get the information, man.
Right.
And it's I see a lot of grays. I see a lot of wisdom. You know, shout out to you, Trill. Of course, Shannon and King, y'all know we got busy last week, man. So salute to y'all. I'm working on that, Shannon. I'm working on that. I'm extending the elbow. I'm getting up that windshield wiper. I'm keeping it crisp, man. I'm learning. But man, listen, I'm sitting back listening to y'all. I'm trying to work, and then I step away, and then I try to come over here. My team looking at me like, dude, you supposed to be helping us. And I'm like, oh. I'm over here listening to, culture clinician going in. King, you reminded me of on earlier episodes of Lapeef Talk. I was like, yo, my man throwing Molotov cocktails out in this camp, man. But it's all for the progression of the discussion, man. This is much needed. JR, I appreciate you. Shout out to Jonathan Barronville working hard in the chat.
Yeah, salute to you, Jonathan.
Anton jumped in there. He throwing Molotov cocktails. And who else in there? Kay was in there for a minute. Anton in the chat. Courtney was in the chat. Kay in the chat. And somebody else. I think Sir Shah is in the chat. So shout out to the moderators and everybody doing their thing. Gentlemen, epic discussion. I didn't want to press y'all on anything. I really just wanted to shout and salute y'all. I've been waiting to get on the panel with culture clinician and El Wapo, and I hate that I missed it on this one. We're gonna have to do another one. Clear my calendar for King Talk Tuesdays, man. I'm clearing my calendar, man.
No doubt.
Salute y'all. Salute.
Just for you, I'll make sure I'm here, Rilla. I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate y'all. man.
Thank
All
you,
right.
brother. I appreciate you doing that, brother. Thank you.
All right, brother. What's going on, Polar Bear?
Polar's back.
Can you hear me well?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you, JR. Hello, gentlemen.
What's
Nice
up,
to see you.
PB?
So, hey, Shannon, just wanted to let you know, since the last time I was on here, I've been to the gym twice. I went biking for about an hour, hour and a half, then it just got too damn hot here in Atlanta. So I stopped.
Polar Bear, make sure that you got to get on the program. You can't just do it all, willy-nilly at the seat of your pants. Make sure you get on a specific program that introduces the food. Remember, you lose the weight in the kitchen. You get toned in the gym. So all that bike riding and the gym and all that kind of stuff is going to make you toned, but the weight drop is going to come from the kitchen. So get on the program. 4 months, you'll be fine, bro.
All right, I'm working on it. Yeah. So anyways, I could have commented on different things, but I'll keep it to the thing about masculinity and kind of the money situation, also femininity. I would just give them what I individually perceive as femininity. So using myself as an example on the masculinity, I've been in the military. I was enlisted. You don't make jack crap money. That doesn't take away from me being a man. Okay. I was being productive and a good member of society. So that makes me a man. Now, if I was lazy, and as I think El Guapo mentioned, there's a difference between being lazy, hence you're broke because you won't produce, versus you're in a circumstance that whatever your profession may be, it simply may not be a high-paying profession. And there's plenty of good men, whether they're military, law enforcement, teachers, some of the trades, etc. It goes on and on. The money doesn't make the man, although from a many females' perspective, they are wanting the man with the resources. So there's two different things between what a man is to be masculine versus if you're going to be attractive to a female as being a provider. Two different categories. So femininity, I'm just going to say from my perspective, what I look into a woman that I consider feminine, one is she's pleasant to the eye, first of all. Now, each of us has our own idea what is pleasant to us, right? So I'm not going to get into it's a particular body shape or this, that, or the other. But if she, one, looks pleasant to her man, two, she has a pleasant attitude, generally speaking. We all have our ups and downs, but generally speaking. And I want to say this. We as men, we're out there. We're either being on the offensive, trying to better ourselves so we can be better men and provide for those that are dear to us, family or friends. And also we're on the defensive because we have to protect what we already got. So we are already in a combat mode, so to speak, most of the time. Our female, our helpmeet, or whatever you want to call it, what we want in femininity, at least from my perspective, is in that short amount of time, when we get back home, we don't want to have to be in combat mode. We want to have that short time where we can rest, relax, and we have someone that we have 100% confidence that is on our side. And that's what I think is femininity. Someone that's going to be there to help us, that will not attack us like the rest of the world might do it. So anyways, I'll keep it short. If you have any questions, I'll stay on, but otherwise I want to hold up the line for other people.
No, I agree. I think you just hit it spot on, Polar Bear.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Good job, Polo Bear. Appreciate you calling in and being a supporter. Good seeing you again.
Okay, good seeing you. Thank you so much.
All
Bye-bye.
right. What on, Anton?
What's going on, family? What's the word?
AD, what's good, my friend?
Guapo, hey man, you making a lot of sense up here, bro. You making a whole lot of sense, bro. I don't understand a lot of this narrative, though. I don't understand a lot of the narrative, bro. It honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. Again, it's running in the victim Olympics. It's running in the victim Olympics, bro. It's a lot of complaining, whining, all of this. You know, the one thing that I've always tried to figure out is a couple different points, right? The first thing is you only got to get it right once. You got to get it right once. What are we sitting here, not we, but as individuals having extensive conversations about what we want from Black women? I got to get it right once. I got to win once. And that's it. What do I need to be having this extensive conversation about I've never had a problem with any of the Black women in my life rocking with me, supporting me, being submissive. Never one issue ever. I don't know what divorce looks like. I've said this on multiple platforms. Same thing. All 7 of my uncles married, never divorced. Father never divorced. All 3 brothers successfully married, never divorced. I'm under 40 and been married for over 17 years. What are we talking about? And you know, it's so funny because I've never known what it meant. Like, I've never taken what a woman does into consideration. We move and we control access to marriage. So if that be the case, what am I sitting here playing the victim Olympics for, complaining about what women are doing because I'm the one that determines the rules? I don't understand it. Listen, as a man, my father always taught me that you get what you deserve on both sides. If you suffering out here, it's a result of your actions. If you winning, you're going to take the credit that come along with it. So I just don't understand the logic behind me sitting here, even including women as a part of the conversation and men talk. Like, I don't care nothing about what women think. Yeah, and let's be fair. Everybody need to be held accountable across the board, especially when you're starting to have these conversations about equality. You can't equally participate in the sport and then not get body bagged as a result of it. If you want to participate, then you're going to have to compete. But as far as me sitting here and ever complaining about how women treat me or in my life and all of that other type of stuff, I don't understand it. It never made sense to me. And then the second point is, this is the biggest thing that I have a problem with, is that you can't support and perpetuate a narrative. You're out here busting chicks down, making them for the streets, and then you complaining about chicks that's for the streets. You can't have it both ways. You got to be a reflection of the thing that you're looking to attract. You got to be a reflection of the thing that you want your daughter to marry growing up. You can't sit here and perpetuate a narrative and support this whole lifestyle of you being willy-nilly, doing whatever you want. I'm busting them down. I make them for the streets and all of this other type of stuff. And then sit here and complain about how women don't treat you, or how women overlook you, or how women are not subjecting themselves to you, or how women ain't supporting you. You got to be the thing first. You got to get the beam out of your own eye. The fastest way to be able to create wealth within a Black community or any community at large is within your own household. You have to create your own family structure first. First, do it. Do it. Be the man. Be the leader. People don't even understand from a business perspective, from a household perspective, from an entrepreneurial perspective. Even if you have any level of leadership in any enterprise, corporate America, it's a servant's role. You place every single person before you, understanding that them doing their job ultimately makes for a better situation for you. People think that being a boss and being a man means that you can do and say what you want to do. But what it means is that you're a servant first. You take care of everybody first. You take care of your shareholders. You take care of the people that work for you. You take care of your employees. You understand that them pouring into you, then you get all of the spoils and everything that come along with it. But just because you got a dick don't mean that you're a man. And just because you Black and you and you can sling around some cock, that don't make you a king. There's never been, and it's so funny because technology has messed everything up and there's no longer a rite of passage. Anybody can come out here and do whatever they want to do. And just because they call themselves a man, that don't make them a father. That don't make them any of that. That don't make you a leader. That don't make none of that. Nobody has ever had to suffer and go through things in order to be able to prove themselves to be worthy of being in a leadership position. But we automatically bestow these whole terms and crowns and all of this other type of stuff just because of the color of your skin. I don't rock with that. I don't subject myself with that. And that's why I align myself with people of great character instead of just their color. You a king when you prove yourself to be one, and when you've proven yourself to be able to lead successfully, not just because we put these labels on ourselves to make ourselves feel better.
Well,
Hey,
King,
you
you
on mute,
muted
King.
yourself.
You
You
muted,
muted
bro.
yourself, bro.
Yeah, I'm. Thank you for that, but I'm a little bit confused. Right? It sounded a little bit hypocritical. Right? In the beginning, you said we don't put women into the conversation, and towards the end, you said a leader serves everybody, gets poured in from everybody. All the leaders I know, they take input for the people that they do serve. So we have to discuss things. I agree with you. I don't tell a woman what to do. That's not my place, right? If she doesn't fit into my program, it's cool. But I didn't really get your message. And another question is, what do you do for your community? What do you do
What have
outside?
I done for my community? I put
Yeah, I
over
wanna
$1
know.
million. I put over $1 million into my community. Oh, I thought you was asking me specifically.
No. I am asking you.
I can get there.
Let me finish. So let me finish asking the question. I'm asking you, Anton, no one to say but you. What do you do? What is your community and what do you do? So I could Google it up right now. Tell me. I don't want to hear what you do. No picnics on Saturdays. I'm talking about what do you do to make an impact in your community, your city? Because
you don't have to go. You can go straight to. Hold on. Wait. You can go straight to my YouTube channel.
Let me finish.
Okay, my bad. I apologize.
So thank you, brother. So let me know what you do for your community and your city. I want to Google it, and I want to see how long you was doing it for, and then tell me why you feel that you have the right to tell men because they don't follow your philosophy or your ideology. They're not kings or fathers. Who do you think you are? Thank you.
On my other channel, Anton Daniels, I've been hold on.
I ain't saying nothing. I'm Googling it.
You don't got to Google it. You can go straight to YouTube. Anton Daniels. Just put in Anton Daniels. I got over 300 videos documenting the journey. I've showed people, gave them the blueprint on exactly how to open up their own businesses, employed people from my community, gave over $1 million to my community, give out, documented it, showed it in videos, giving over $250 a day to individuals just to get their day started. I mentor young men between the ages of 14 and 24. All of them. I do work continuously and it don't stop there. And you can even ask Rilla, you can ask JR, you can ask anybody. I've coached over 1,000 people. I've made more black men millionaires. I put in the work regularly today, and I still document the journey. And it's been over 8 years since I've started that YouTube channel in which I've been documenting my journey all the way up until today. The point being is that, I guess you just wanted me to run down my credentials, and I still own businesses where I employ the majority of the people that look like me. My assistants, technology, web development, restaurants, it's all there. You can go and do. I've even showed my 1040 and W-2s. I've given the blueprint on how these dudes can level up in corporate America and even kicked in the door and hired the very same people that look just like you that have had criminal records and didn't get the chance. I forced people in the corporate America to overlook a lot of that stuff because I seen the potential in them. So if we just talking about credentials,
no, it's not very. What did you do?
Wait. Let me finish. The reason why I can tell men on what they need to do is because I am very much the example first of the thing that I'm looking for. And I know that it can work because I've seen communities thrive as a result of taking this exact blueprint. And not only that, I have the blueprint on how to be able to be successfully married, on how to build wealth within your community from your household first. I am the exact thing that I preach and advocate for. I'm not just talking. These are things that I live every single day. My wife I don't like pulling my wife and my daughter up here. I put my wife and my daughter on blast regularly to be able to have these conversations. My mom has come on these platforms. My mother, how many people you know? Most of these dudes is hiding they chicks. You don't even know if they married or not. They had their chicks. You don't even know nothing about. My whole life is transparent, good or bad, whether you believe it. Whether you agree with me or not, my whole life is on the internet. I've been living my life like matter of fact, my slogan on Anton Daniels, my original channel, is I live my life like an open book. That's exactly what my life is. Now, I'm not criticizing guys that decide to do things differently. But what I'm saying is be able to support your argument and stand according to whatever it is that you say. If you say it, then call me. If I say it, then call me out on it. I can defend my position. But if you say it, I'm gonna do the same thing to you. The same smoke I extend is the same smoke I give.
Wow. Hey, can I say something real fast?
It shouldn't be. No, it shouldn't be. It's not about who got the biggest resume or who has the biggest credentials. I need to know who's talking to me and who's telling me what to do.
And what difference do it make if the information? Wait. If the information is right, are you more concerned about the vessel because you didn't question the information that I give? You only question whether or not I'm valid. If the information is right, is that more important than the actual vessel?
Anton, you got relax for just a few minutes because everything you told me, I'm still going to do my thorough research, right? And I'm going to see if everything lines up. As you can see, I'm just dotting out a note.
Trust me, you ain't the first, you ain't going to be the last.
It's not trying to assassinate your character. It's trying to make sure at the end of the day, whoever's telling me certain things, I got to do my background check. And that goes for anybody. We don't follow suit unless you are deserving of leadership. So that's it. From Trail to Shan, I know of these brothers, but I also did you could do my research too to see what I did for my community and the pathway I took from going to Ivy Leagues to going to Fed and giving back hundreds of thousands back to the community.
I'm gonna be honest with you, King.
No. But the thing is, when you talk about the most important unit within the Black community, the family structure, you're 100% right. It's the most important unit, but we are not monoliths. So your way is not the only way. And that's my biggest issue. Your way is not the only way.
That's fair. I have no problem with that narrative. But the whole idea behind having a conversation is we're going to find out what the true solution is, right? That's the whole idea behind having a conversation.
That's period.
Right. But at the same time,
we want to make sure at the end of the day, whoever's telling us whatever they tell us, it's not coming from a place of ego. Because it doesn't.
Oh, no. I got an ego. I'm gonna flaunt this wealth. I'm gonna talk this ego talk.
We all got egos, but there's always someone greater. Remember that. There's always someone.
I don't know about that. I'm pretty excellent. I don't know a man that's greater than me at this point.
And I'm glad. So you're gonna hire everybody in your community. You got it.
All right, Guapo, go ahead. You had a question?
Thank you. So real fast. One thing that I think that we need to be conscious of when we have these types of conversations is it's okay for us to have a discourse verbally without getting into what do we hear all the time about women. Women start attacking the credibility of certain things that are going on. I'm gonna tell you right now, listen, and I'm no Johnson rider, but Anton's done a lot. Real talk. Like there's no denying it. But here's the thing, and Antoine, I'm gonna push back at you a little bit too, and I know you can handle it because you understand that iron sharpeneth iron, right? You get that, right? I love that you have an ego, bro. You've earned it. But one thing that I know for sure is leadership, because I don't want to self-aggrandize or self-edify or anything like that, but I had people's lives in my hands in my early 20s in the military, okay? And you're a Christian, right, Anton?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So one of the greatest leaders that ever lived was Jesus, right? And Jesus was a servant leader to the point that they talk about servant leadership when you get into the upper echelons of leadership training in the military, like a military academy, like I went to. Mm-hmm. The number one thing that it comes to being a leader, when it comes to being a leader, is being an assertive follower, which means that you have to be able to relate to the people that you are leading, which negates you being able to say, I don't care what women think. I'm just telling you, brother, as a leader.
Hello.
Hold up, King. Let me finish. I got it. But what I'm saying is that let's not lose the fact that we've got to be able to relate to the people that we're talking to. The other thing I'll say to you, Anton, and I agree, and bro, people are products of their environment. And what a powerful story that all your uncles are married and your dad is married and nobody's been divorced or anything like that. But please recognize that you're an outlier. And when you're in these situations where you can talk to folks and lead and guide them, you have to talk to the person on the lowest level. So you have to talk to that person that's never seen a father figure, because you're the exception. You're not the rule. And if you actually want to help, you got to be able to talk to them folks. But I don't take anything away from you, G. Yo, you've done a lot. Bro, you've helped me.
So let me, you know, because I wanted to extend the courtesy of you being able to finish your statement, right? I'll also say that I'm not for everybody. I'm not trying to save everybody. I'm not trying to help everybody. I'm not trying to reach out to the lowest common denominator. The only thing that I care about is reaching out to my tribe and the truth, right? Because there's more than one way to skin a cat. I'm not trying to be a Swiss Army knife. I'm a hammer for people that need a hammer. And then it may be a screwdriver over there or a drill for people that need a screwdriver or a drill, right? But the one thing that I'm always going to do is stand in truth. And with me being a Christian, as you identified earlier, right? For me, it's important for me to live based off of those principles extensively, because you can't pick and choose which part of the Bible you want to believe and which part you don't, right? I don't believe in having sex outside of marriage. I've stood on that regularly, right? I don't believe in adultery. I don't believe in a lot of these things. So when I say these things, I'm speaking very much matter of fact, because these are the principles and ethics by which I stand on. Now, there may be somebody that listen to you, El Guapo, and say, you know what, I can relate more closely to him because he more or less identifies with me. But if listen, my army is strong. It's strong. It's been extensive dudes that say, Anton, I ain't never heard nobody just come to me and stop pacifying me and just told me the truth and say, fuck your feelings, get out your feelings and man the fuck up, because don't nobody care about how you feel. Thanks, fam. Can you be my mentor? And then I've coached them extensively into spaces that they would have otherwise never been into. Now, is that effective for everybody? Probably not. Absolutely not, right? But then there's somebody else that can probably do the work and help that dude. But for the dudes that hear my voice and that's ready to put in the work, and again, my army is super strong. Rilla can tell you, JR will tell you, I have a movement that is crazy. And these are people that's focused on good character, doing the work, continuing to level up. And then the money is a reflection of the work that they put in. But they do not run in these victim Olympics. I don't support it. I don't align myself with it. And I also have, and forever will, only stand on the idea that I rock with people based off of their character. And I do not align myself with people just because they black at all. Never have, never
and
will.
I respect the hammer, dog. From a tactical standpoint, we need the hammer. Yo, here's the thing. As long as we're congruent with each other and moving together as brothers, we can do it. I'll be the scalpel, you be the hammer, dog. I respect that.
We're not moving together, but we have a platform. We have a platform where we can discuss each other's philosophies and ideologies, and out of respect. So once again, I'm going to stick to what I said. I didn't understand the point where he says we don't even take in the input of women. We set the tone and we tell them what to do. And then at the end he says we try to serve everybody. Any leadership knows you have to know your community before you can serve them. And that's just what I'm saying. So you could be the hammer, I'm the measuring tape, and you didn't measure up for today. That's just my.
Think so? You don't think so?
Don't take offense. It's just how I feel today.
What part didn't I measure up to?
No, because it doesn't. Leadership to me takes into account when you talk about governmental leader to gang leadership. You have to know the people that run what you serve. From political leadership to even street gangs, you have to know the people you serve. And if you serve women, you have to take their input. That's what I said. That's all. That's all. So we don't have to agree. But and you could have the biggest army in the world, but I would be a coward not to tell you how I felt.
Listen, I respect your perspective, bro. I mean, I respectfully disagree, but I respect you.
And I respect you too.
And real quick, Anton, another thing is, and I think Guapo touched on this, you coming from a very unique position in the fact that you're under 40 and you've never and you've been married for 17 years. That means you found your queen when you were young. Man, I wish we all could have done that. Like Guapo, I was in the military. I was over serving. I was in Somalia, getting shot at and shooting at people.
serving our country when I was 19 years old. I didn't have the opportunity. Well, I guess I did have the opportunity to marry my high school sweetheart, but instead I ran off to the Army. And so that perspective that you're coming from is one that I don't want you to ever know what divorce looks like, because it's ugly, bruh. It's ugly. It's worse.
I will never know what divorce look like.
Well, you never. That's what I thought.
No,
to be honest with you,
I will never know what.
Well, I get it. I understand. I understand, and I'm glad that you and your queen has got that kind of connection that you can make that. But I know some brothers that's got divorced at 20 years in, and at the 19th year, they were head over heels in love with each other, and then something popped up, and that
what is that? What is love?
20th year.
What is that?
No, I'm saying that they were like him and his wife was locked in tight at the 19th year. The 20th year, they were divorced. You couldn't have told him that he was getting a divorce ever. He was 20 years in. Next thing you know, 20 years later, they got a divorce. And a lot of people in the chat know people that got divorces. In fact, that's the question. You've been married 20 years. What the hell you get a divorce for? Well, ask the people that got a divorce at 20 years. They can answer that. So while you have that perspective,
I don't know what that
and
looks
you don't,
like.
and I hope that you never know what it looks like, because it's ugly, and it would make you see things a little bit differently than you probably are seeing them now. Right now, you're coming from the point where this is how it is, and this is all I know. And the fact that you got these men in your family that has this successful relationships too, I'm wondering what planet you from. I'm like, God damn! And then we're in the women that you guys selected. They got.
So maybe I really am a god then, huh?
Well, you're certainly an anomaly. You're certainly an anomaly.
that was a joke. I know
it was, but you're an outlier, Anton. And so the fact that you don't have that,
bro. I just got the blueprint. I have the blueprint. I'm telling you, bro.
He is God. Godlike. He has to be godlike. He has to be, because at the end of the day. I know that's when we tell your joke back. He really is godlike, because at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, when another man is talking, you constantly interrupting him. That shows how godlike you are. You're not even considering his.
Don't get offended.
Come on, man. Don't do that, King. Come on, man. You're taking it off the rails, dog.
Oh, man.
It hit a little spot, Anton. It hit a little spot.
What little spot?
Why you interrupting him, Anton? Don't do that.
All right, y'all. We got some more calls.
Listen, I'm sorry. I hope you guys feel
Thank
better.
you, Anton. Thank you.
Hey, listen, I rock, but no, real talk. I rock with y'all, Gerald. What's happening, bro? I ain't seen you since the other show.
What's
Gerald.
up, Anton, baby? How you doing, man?
Kosher clinician, you definitely was spitting some gems. I really rock with y'all. And I mean, listen. Let me just say this. I don't 100% agree with anything that everybody say.
No doubt.
Right? So I don't expect people to 100% agree with me. But at the very least, I will say that as men, regardless of how crazy some of us are, including myself, no matter how, flashy and matter of fact that we speak, it always comes back to a level of respect in which we always show love for one another at the end of the conversation, regardless of how much we disagree. I respect all of y'all, and I truly, truly value what y'all doing. Shout out to my bro JR continuing to do the work. And we rocking. So great platform, great show tonight, and y'all keep doing what y'all do. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow. I'm about to go to bed.
Brother.
Love you, Anton.
Thanks, Antoine. We're going to teach you how to clean up that salute, brother. You can't be doing this. Don't do that anymore. You're making us look bad out here.
I'll holler at y'all.
All right, man.
You know what, though, King? Anton, when we're on stage together, we're at the same place as well. So I get where you're coming from, and Anton comes from a different place. Shan, you actually said the exact same thing I said, because I'm divorced. I got divorced at 23. I was married for 5 years. So you said the exact same thing I said. I said, Anton, you're an anomaly. That doesn't happen.
And I hope he stays an anomaly. I want him to. I hope he rides out with his queen into the rest of his life. And the fact that he got his whole empire locked down and his woman is on board with his program. That's amazing, bro. That's amazing. Unfortunately, everybody didn't get a wife like he got.
It's not the norm, man. It's not the norm. And I love that for him. I pray that he stays there. I'm with you, man. I said the same thing.
No. Anton is a great orator. He's a great speaker. Looking at what I saw, he does what he does. But the common mistake that we make as Black leaders, we tend to think that anomalies are normal and we use it as a symbol of hope. And that's a false symbol of hope. Because anomalies are rare. He's a rare breed. We're not going to take that away from Anton. No one ever wants to hate on him. But stop thinking that everybody's on that level. But he made it clear. His message is not for everyone. His message is for the selective few. And that right there is just a little bit disturbing to me. That's all.
What's going on, TJ?
Hello.
I appreciate you waiting. I've been waiting for a while. I appreciate that.
Hey, Awapo. Thank you all. Thank you for allowing me in. The first female of the night. You know, I had to get in on this conversation. This is some good stuff. Awapo, you know, I had told my husband about when you were talking about before you met Labea and the young lady that you met, how she showed up to the first date with the or whatever. And I asked my husband, you know, what would he have thought had I done that? And he pretty much said the same thing that you had said. So the presentation definitely matters. Just a couple of things I want to get to. Before I do that, Kosher Clinician, you were dropping all the songs from back in the day. I love it. I love it. Okay.
Old school swag.
Yeah, El Wapo and Shan, thank you for your service. All right. You know. Ow.
That's how you salute. Thank you, TJ. Anton, you paying attention? You paying attention, Anton?
I'm a retired officer too, so you know I better know how to do it.
That's right. Thank you, TJ.
You understand me?
That's right,
okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So here's the thing. My husband, when we talk about, you know, we're talking about women who, you know, can stay or stay when the man is done. I'm paraphrasing because I can't really remember exactly what it was. But here's the thing. I remember when my husband and I think we were engaged, or we may have been married. I can't quite remember. No, I think we had just been married. And my husband's been a truck driver for over 34 years. He's always worked his entire life, you know, hardworking man, handles his business. And the company that he had worked for the last 17 years filed bankruptcy like 2 days, like December 8th. And the truckers found out like on the news because the executives had been, you know, securities fraud and all that kind of stuff. So my husband, I was telling him I could see, you know, because he's always worked and that's the kind of man he is, because that's the kind of man his father was or is. Well, his father's retired. But at any rate, I told him, I said, listen, you had been wanting to change your schedule anyway. I said, so maybe this is God's way of letting you change your schedule. I said, so now I want you to sit back and vet the company so you can get the opportunity that's best for you. I got this. And so during that time, because again, you know, I could see the look in his eyes. He's not, you know, like you said, when your pockets are leaking, you can't, you know, you're not there. As a man, you feel that you're not there. But I sat here and watched him negotiate in the various companies. And I'm like watching him negotiate, like, because he knew what he was worth. And he got another opportunity in less than a month. But when he took me to dinner, he just said that he appreciated me because I was, you know, I didn't complain about anything. I just did what I had to do. And I said that I'm here. You know, I'm here because he had shown me what kind of man he is, the character he had, and about handling his business. And if a woman is looking for more than just money and looking for character, looking for a work ethic, she is going to be there. The question was, are there enough men? I don't know the answer to that. But I will say this, and my daughter, who is 27 and married, she said just the other day that there's so many men, the average man, but are hardworking men that are looked over, or passed over.
Right.
She said she ran into a young man who was a manager at T-Mobile and asked her, you know, is it really all that to be married? Because I try to talk to ladies, but they don't want to date me.
Right.
And those are the young men that, you know, later down the line, when they get theirs, the same women who wasn't trying to holler at them might want to get with them. But again, who are the women in the trenches as they're coming up the ladder? And my daughter said, she's wise beyond her years. She said that she is independent because I raised her that way, but she's independent to serve her husband.
Right. That's right.
Independent to serve her
about to say.
husband. Huh?
I was about to say.
Independent to serve her husband. And she said that it's a shame that many men are not free to be vulnerable.
Well, you know,
yes, sir.
No, but you're correct. You know, I said something earlier, and I want to clarify. You know, there's one thing to say I'm soft and self-sufficient, but there's another thing to say I'm strong and independent. Women should be interdependent with their men. It's like an interlocking square, similar to the ring on your finger. When you see the ring, it's an interlock. So a woman should be interdependent with her man. But the problem in the thinking error that a lot of our women have is a cognitive distortion that I call minimization and magnification. No one lives on an island unto himself. So the women dispute the logic, I'm strong and independent. You're not. You should be soft and self-sufficient. Self-sufficient and independence actually means the same thing. But the caveat to that is when they say, I don't need a man. And that's what throws things off the rail. Every man needs somebody. I need El Guapo, I need Trilla. We all need each other as men because no man lives on an island unto himself. What I can give the men is relates to the mental health piece. What they can give me, the plumber, the electrician, are more or less artisan skills that I don't possess. But that's a thinking error that a lot of our women have dealt with, TJ Randolph, through trauma, part of it, but also getting with bad men. And that's what's happening. You're correct. A lot of decent men are saying, I don't measure up, and they're not bad guys. You know, 29% of men are virgins now. What does that say? So we got a lot of men, women that have a hyper-inflated self-worth, and they're looking over those quality men. But you're from the old school. There was a time where, like I've been married for 25 years. My parents have been married for over 50 years. But there was a time when women came to the relationship, they were chaste. They gave that man chastity. But it's almost like women are expecting men to meet the extraneous standards of their fathers, but they don't even meet the standards of their mothers and their grandmothers. And that's the problem that I got. That's why I call it taxation without representation and the mental breaking of the American man. A lot of men are being broken and a lot of men are suffering in silence. That's why as a clinical therapist, I started what I've done because I didn't want to see men suffer in silence. Men have worth and men have value. They're just not tools to be subjugated to based on what a woman thinks. And that's the problem that I have. And I agree with you 100%. And that's why a lot of guys are traveling, part of the passport game. They're traveling abroad to deal with women that have been conditioned to treat them like men.
Well, I think one of the things too, we talk about, you know, we're not going to be able to save everyone, but where it does start is women, older women like myself, who've made my share of mistakes, because if I had gotten it right, I would have been married many years ago. But also from the young woman like my daughter who's married at 27 and, you know, who met her husband at 22 and who understands things. And I just did a show the other day that, you know, I didn't teach my daughter how to be a wife because I wasn't one. You know, I taught my daughter how to work hard because I was a career Army officer. So I taught her how to work hard, how to tell people what to do, how to get in people's face. But I asked her, when you wanted to be a wife, what did you do? And going back to your point, sir, she said that she got closer to God, got closer in her, you know, sought guidance in her church. But she also asked other women who were married and started hanging around those women.
TJ, you're newly married? You haven't been married?
I've been married for 2 years. We've been together for 3.
Right. Congratulations. Okay.
And I'm 54. So I found my love at 52. But here's the thing, you know, you talk about the trauma that women have had, and this is very true. But unfortunately, before some women are really willing to drop the bag in these bags, some of them are going to have to really be broken.
Right.
I mean, really be broken because, again, I was operating in my masculine energy for so long because my mom was a single mother. Then I had, you know, my daughter's father and I didn't last. So, you know, we were divorced and I was a single mom and I'm an active duty officer. So, you know, there's no too much femininity popping off there, you know. And so since I didn't have a husband at home, I didn't have anything to balance that.
TJ, listen, you know, one thing about when you said that your husband was down, I'm glad that, but the thing is, you knew your man.
And so Shannon, I'm ready to be the last point, and then we got to get to the rest again.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you held him down. And real quick, TJ, When did you wake up and realize everything that you just said? All this, see, you speak on this masculinity, and what I'm finding is there's a lot of women who don't even realize it, one, but if they do realize it, they wear it like a badge of honor. Where you're speaking on it and saying, you know what, I'm 54, I met my man at 52, we're married now, I got my king, we riding it out, but I made a mistake. I didn't even teach my daughter this femininity that I should have taught her. I didn't even teach my daughter how to be a wife. When did you realize that? Did you realize that in your later years? Did you realize that when you were in the military? When did you come to that realization?
I realized it after I got out of the military, because even after I got in the military, I was still an executive higher level in the federal government. So I was still operating there, but I couldn't keep my relationships together. So I went to therapy, and my therapist, said, Terry, I want you to think about the common denominator here. You keep choosing the same type of dude.
Therapy.
And then here's the thing, I'm give a shameless plug, as you say, El Guapo. I did an interview with Courtney and my daughter just the other day, and I asked my daughter what she saw of me when I was dating these men. And I said I could take it. She broke it down, what she saw from a child's perspective of her mother in these relationships. And then that's a grow you real moment. So it was
that's real. Wow.
Because I know what I thought I was showing her, but what I was showing her was something completely different. So, but that's all I have, gentlemen. Thank you so much for allowing me on. Keep doing what you do. And these young ladies, if you're listening to me, if you're trying to if you want what I have, because I told Courtney, in order, kind of like what Anton said, I don't agree with a lot of Anton, but in order to help the community, you got to have what they want. You gotta have a marriage, you gotta have a family, you gotta have what they want, and then they may listen.
I like that.
All right, TJ, appreciate you.
I like how you said that.
Thank you, TJ.
Thank you, TJ. Thank you, lady. I appreciate that.
We got just 3 more calls, you guys, and then I get y'all off there. Appreciate y'all.
Y'all hit the like button. What the heck is going on? Come on, man.
I don't know, man. I'm sitting there questioning the same thing. They
Yo, I'm telling you, man. Hey, the first part of leadership is assertive followership. If you want to be a leader, follow. Hit the like button. Honestly, in the next 30 seconds, we should have like 1,100 likes, y'all. Y'all, man, JR put this together. I'm tired.
Real talk.
I got shorts on under this blazer. I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, the only one. I got some shorts on under here.
It's a trick that people actually think. Like, I wonder why people think likes cost money. It's like it's a social digital currency. Hitting the like button, you have an unlimited supply.
Man.
2 seconds to do.
Yeah,
literally no time.
Natural haters.
What's going on, sir? How you doing?
How y'all doing in here, family?
Ism is in the house.
What's going on? What's going on to you, brother Shannon? I seen you before. Salute to you players, man.
What's up?
Yeah, I like what y'all doing over here, man. But I got to bring a little humor to the situation. We just had a Wesley Snipes war. One had on 24 karat gold glasses. You understand me? He was like, mother, yeah, these come from Africa. You know what I mean? I got them from Matudu Mabumbu himself. And then the other one come on here, man, I got the Versace robe, man. This nigga don't know nothing, man. I'm a millionaire. Okay. But anyway.
Yo, I like what you love you for that. I love you for that.
Hey man, hey Shannon, tell him that's what I do. I come in here with some bunnies to lighten the mood, man. Everybody's about to fall asleep. He over here yarning and shit, man. I got to come in here and spice the mood up, man. I was rolling with you players until El Guapo, he want to start doing that gorilla tricking, man. El Guapo, but I understand. Like when you are OG, then you got to be doing some tricking, man. You know what I mean? You got to get you a nice young bitch. You got to, go trick on the young bitch. I understand, because I just got a brand new computer out the young bitch booty. But for my younger players, you don't got to be tricking, man. Have you a good time. Trick on you and your fellas. See what I'm saying? Instead of paying, as KS would say, I don't know if y'all mess with KS, he said pay $3,000 for the woman. No! Get your car painted. Put a down payment on a BMW. I bet your vagina rate go way up. Right. Get in shape. Vagina rate way up. Soon as you say you non-select, you have lost, brother. Okay? So, my brothers, I want to see y'all win out here. Now, if you're OG like El Guapo, then, go on and get the nice little thing and, but that might not be you. Know thyself. You might can't get Cardi B, player. You might got to get Fluffy B, okay? but walk her down. She like you. See, you out here tricking on these women, and then the other guy, polar bear. I like a woman that's like this or like that. See, once you come in with a trick bag, she gonna use and abuse you, player. Now come in with your game, and you should be with me because I'm the coldest thing living. Like my brother right there say, I'm a king. That's right. See, because I'm my woman's master. You understand me? See, I'm cold in the game in chili cold blood. So I want you players to keep doing your thing, man. I appreciate you coming up here. I just want to lighten the mood. I'll be back again. It's late. And brother coach,
Yes,
hey, that high yellow red ball, she was about to knock you off, coach. You got your gray beard going. High yellow red ball, she was saluting. You about to knock her off, man. I'm out of here on you players, man. I'm gone. Salute from Sir Ism from the Mackey here. Pull up on me
Ism,
anytime.
my man, yo, that's dope. Hey, JR, Ism's good for the show. You hit that 1,100 likes just like that, bro.
Oh man, I appreciate it, man. I couldn't do it without y'all, man.
Right. Funny.
Come on.
That was funny, man. I appreciate it.
Sorrel Bay, you there?
Ism is my
Yep,
guy.
I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. How
Loud
you
and
doing?
clear.
Hi, everyone.
Hey,
How you
Sorrel.
doing?
Good. Yourself?
All right.
Good.
Okay, so I'm from Montreal, Canada. So I don't know, the reality might be a bit different, but I just want to share a story that I heard this guy say on one of our local shows here. So he shared his story growing up. Okay, it's him and his sister. I don't know who's older, but he was saying, and he's also Haitian, so our background is Haitian. He was saying that growing up, his sister and him got totally different information coming from the parents, right? So him as a young man, he was able to go out. It was like, do whatever. Yeah, I mean, I guess in school they would look after what he was doing, but his sister was very strict, very like, okay, make sure your grades are like, up there. And there's a saying that we use a lot in the Haitian community that says your diploma is your first husband. And I think that's such a toxic thing to say, but we hear
That's
it
true.
over and over
Right.
again.
That's
So
true.
it's like the women are brought up to, it's like we already know that we're not going to be able to count on the men as we get older, so that we focus a lot on our education, school, working. So even in a workforce, you'll have a lot of women who work, even if they don't have diplomas, they will work their way up. But men don't do that. A lot of us,
Yeah. I know my ex-wife is a Haitian. I know exactly what you're talking about when it comes to the matriarchy and what's taught to Haitian women, specifically Haitian, on how the diploma comes first, independence comes first. Man and men are oftentimes taught that they're optional. Right.
Right. Exactly. So then, and there's not many options, because then they end up on the streets hustling or not making as much money as the women. And then and that's what he was saying. He was saying that in the end, he was like, I'm a taxi driver. My sister's a lawyer. He goes, I'm proud, I'm good, I work well. And he's also a DJ on the side, but they just didn't get the same, they didn't get the same push. So then it's also hard for those women to turn around and pick a man that's on their level. So then the women are like, I worked so hard. Why would I go with a guy who's making, I don't know, half my salary or whatever? So it's
Sorrel,
unfortunate, but yes.
Sorrel, you're Haitian, yes. So
yes.
Let's speak specifics. How was that taught to you specifically growing up?
No, because it's me and my sister. So I didn't have any brothers, and my parents are still together, and my father was the breadwinner for like the longest part. So no.
Got it. Are you married?
No. I have children though. But we separated a long time ago.
Okay. All right. So do you subscribe to that philosophy of, to a degree, to any degree, of the diploma first, get your degree, to get your career together, ladies, and then the men come, pick a man off the man tree later on in life?
Well, I don't think that works. I think you have to know, depending on what your priority is. Some women, I guess, don't necessarily think about marriage or don't want to get married. That's on them. But I think essentially, if you want to get married, if you want to have a family, it's going to be difficult to focus on both things at the same time. It's going to be very difficult. I'm all for being educated or learning things, just to have like good conversations, to be able to help, you know, to function well in society. But I do think at some point you have to make a choice depending on what you want. Because I'm looking around just with my group of, you know, cousins, friends,
Girlfriends.
It's either girlfriends, exactly. It's either we are single mothers or single parents, I'll say, or they're not married, no children, older, educated, but there's like a shortage of men. So
got it.
Sorrel, is there a shortage of men?
Let's say, is it shortage of men?
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Sorrel, because it sounds like you're accomplished and you're well spoken and all that stuff. And I, by no means, as you being the only woman on the panel, wanted to seem like I'm attacking you. But if you were to write the obituary that you would want to have on the day of your death right now, how many of the things like your career, the amount of money, men being able to get on your level would actually be on there? Or would it be about legacy and the kids and stuff like that? So I don't buy what you're saying. I really don't. I don't buy that, you know, that a man needs to get on your level. I think that you've gotten the chronology of the things that are important in your life kind of out of order, because it would be dope to have the kids in that relationship and be building towards the legacy of the next generation right now. And I say this because I have 3 daughters, and this is the conversation I would have with them. Does that make sense? I'm not trying to make you my little girl or anything.
I lost you for a second. My first language is French. I'm good with English, but I think I may have
I'm sorry. Misunderstood
what you said. I'm sorry.
I don't think she said that, Guapo. I don't think she said that, but clear, Sorrel. Go ahead and explain it again. I know you said that you think it's a shortage of men.
Yeah.
But go ahead and explain that part.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Maybe there's a shortage of men, I think, in our community, because here in Montreal, there's a lot of biracial relationships, which I'm not mad at. You know, I sort of agree in a sense that people are going to go where the energy is good. And if the energy is not good and we need healing, I get why, as a result of us not getting along, I get why men having options, and especially Black men being the most wanted out there, it's normal that other groups, other women who can value them are going to go and pick them up. So that's just something that, you know, we have to deal with. So this is what I mean is a lot of times, for example, I had one of my girlfriends who told me she went to a birthday party with her daughter, and every single child at that party was of mixed race, but she was the only Black mother there. You know what I mean? So this happens a lot. So I don't have any statistics to prove, but I think here in Montreal, we do have a lot of biracial situations. So saying this, using that as an example, as well as the fact that there's a gap between men who are earning or top earners versus women who are top earners. There's a gap. So you don't have a lot of women who are going to date down, so to speak. So this is where I see a shortage, but maybe it's not a shortage in terms of numbers, but more in terms of preference, if that makes any sense.
No, it makes sense. I spoke about it earlier in the broadcast, how women will not, if you make a certain amount of money, you're not messing with it. Because this is when JR asks us, do women appreciate do Black women appreciate Black men? And I said, well, if you had to ask 500, if there's 1,000 people in watching the broadcast and 500 are women, how many of those 500 women watching this show would date a man that makes less money than them? Right. So even you, Sorrel, almost are solidifying that by saying, well, you know, me and my girls, we go to brunch and we hang out up here in Montreal and we get together.
No, but I would, and I have. I've dated men who still lived at their mom's house. Okay. And I'm 40, so they were my age.
But were you doing that? But were you doing that when you were 30?
No.
See, so you may be doing it as a result of the option. Your options are limited now that you're 40 years old. You know, let's keep it 100.
Okay. No. I sorry. I was doing it throughout. Like it's just.
Okay.
It's, you know, okay. It's just how it is, but I think women. I can't speak for everyone, but I think Black women want Black men. I think maybe because we there's something going on. There's a lot of anger a lot of anger. And I think a lot of times women they will use infidelity as like our main point of anger. I see a lot of women say, and even in the chat are saying, oh, cheating, cheating, cheating. Unfortunately, as much as cheating can be fateful, it can no longer be used as the one reason to call men out of their names and be like, he's not a good father, he's not a good husband. I think, and I'm not saying I agree with cheating, I'm just saying it's something that happens. Let's deal with that separately. And let's just look at a man taking his responsibility as a man, as far as his family is concerned, loving his woman. Let's just focus on that and put the cheating aside, because the way we treat sexuality, men and women, is so different that we're putting everything in all our eggs in one basket, and we end up feuding with each other, battling with each other over the wrong things when we should be getting together and building. So there's certain things that we should just move to the side for a minute, you know? I think.
All right. Well, we appreciate you, Sorrel.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for the support.
Pleasure. Right. Bye.
It's the last one, fellas. Last one. What's going on, Emmanuel?
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, cool. I want to say two things. The first thing, based off what she said. So me personally, I did date outside my race. My wife is Asian, and it wasn't that I preferred an Asian woman over African American. My wife, when we started dating, she came to my house. She was cooking. She was cleaning. I mean, all my clothes was on, and I really just never had an experience like that. So I don't think it's just we're dating out because we don't want to. It's just it is a better experience in my opinion. But my question that I wanted to ask the panel is this right here. So I know they said that Antoine was talking about being the anomaly. Like he is as an anomaly. What they was trying to say was that he's an anomaly. It doesn't happen. But if we could just make the anomaly go from say 1% to 2%, I feel like it's worth it in our community. Like, should I plan for me getting married for 4 years, plan for failure because other men have got divorced, or should I plan for success because of the anomaly out there? If I don't do it, but what if I can create a community? If I can have a successful marriage, my kids can have a successful marriage, and we can create a system like Antoine don't know no divorce. So I'm saying, should it be more wise for us to plan for success, or should we, like you guys say, plan for the worst, if that makes sense?
Man, I got a question for you. Just a quick question for anybody else answer. When you get in your car to travel places, do you put your seatbelt
on? It depends.
Okay, but the reason I asked was
the reason I said that, let me say why I said it depends. So I was in the United States military too. I see some people couldn't get out the car because they couldn't get out their seatbelt. So me personally, I don't wear my seatbelt, like because that's just me. I'm not saying that it's the right thing, but I don't always put my seatbelt on. But I do get what you're trying to say. Always plan for success.
Yeah, which is what I was gonna say. Okay, you don't put the seatbelt on, but you do have insurance on the car, don't you?
That is correct.
Right. So it's the same thing with relationships. It's like you don't plan to fail. You aspire for it to be successful, but you want to be prepared just in case it goes left. So that's how I would, go about it. Again, a lot of people go about relationships the wrong way. And what I mean by the wrong way is fairy tale-ish. They go by, okay, if everything goes right, then, this is going to be the greatest situation I ever had. And then when it goes left, fail into account that, divorce rate is at about 50%, I think, last time I checked. So it's a great chance that this shit is not going to last. So what you want to do is
my question to you. I said, so my question to you is this right here. That's almost the same as women having a backup plan. If I have a backup plan, some insurance plan, it's the same as a backup plan. So you saying, hey, just because failure is an option, I should have a backup plan because it's just safer. Is that kind of what I'm hearing, or are you saying something different?
No. What I'm saying is that you should be prepared for failure. Not saying that you should assume it's going to happen, but you should be prepared for failure. It's the same way, just like I said, when you get in your car and you put that seatbelt on, it's a good chance that you're not going to crash. You know what I'm saying? Because you know that the place you're going, you're running 3 blocks down to the store. You've been to that store 100 times, but you still buckle the seatbelt anyway, just in case shit goes left. I think relationships should be went about the same way. You got to keep in mind what the success rate is of them. Everybody thinks that their situation is going to be different. That's just what it is, and that's what I mean by the fairy tale mindset. When you go about things with the fairy tale mindset and then shit goes left, then you asked out. But if you prepared for the failure, again, not assuming it's going to happen, but I want to be prepared just in case. So that's the type of, that's what I would advise people to do. Like I said, me and my old lady been together 13 years. Love her to death. Know her like the back of my hand. We've been knowing each other since 8th grade, as a matter of fact. But even still, I keep in the back of my head, yeah, when you get together that young, reality is a lot of people grow apart as you get older. Like that.
Oh, wow. Did we lose him? I had something for him.
That person that you got into a relationship with that young, they're not the same person at 30, at 25, at 24. So for me to, I guess, go about this relationship assuming that she's going to remain the same person that I met, that's foolish. So no, I'm going to account for the change. I'm going to account for the likelihood that this shit is going to go left. I'm going to account for the fact that divorces happen at a 50% rate. Now, that's not me going about the relationship looking at it in a terrible manner, but that's me being prepared for it just in case it goes left. It's a difference.
Emmanuel, I'm going to just tell you real quick, and Guapa, I know you got something for him, man.
GP, you got it, brother.
Real quick, Emmanuel, I want to tell you something. And I think not just men, but women both have this issue in relationships. Emmanuel, you cannot look at relationships like you're going to find a cheat code for life. There is none, my friend. There's no cheat code for relationships. There is no manual to ensure that you have success in relationships. There is none. So you have to take it upon yourself to change the mindset to say, look, this is not a race for me to finish, but this is an experience for me to learn from. And my whole, when it comes to relationships, your whole goal needs to be, who can I become? Who can I become? How can I present myself as the best man? How can I do that? Will it work out? There's no guarantees. Will it not work out? There's no guarantees. But man, I think we beat ourselves up looking for the cheat code to make it work, to try to figure out how it's going to work. Should I prepare myself for failure? Should I prepare myself for success? Dude, just be the best Mr. Williams that you can walk out the front door being and contribute the most you can to your wife, to your girlfriend, to your family, to your community, and learn from that on a daily basis, because there is no cheat code for life, man. Don't expend your energy there. There's better places for you to put your energy. I'll end there.
Yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. I look at it that only thing I can do is become great. And I can be as great as I possibly can, because if I'm great, I feel she'd be a fool to leave me. But I feel like I have to accomplish greatness because my purpose is bigger than my relationship. And if I'm focused on a plan B, I can't really have my plan A be successful. So many people plan A's don't be successful because they got a backup plan. So all I'm saying is that as a man that's 30, I've been married for a short period of time, but I learned when I'm doing what I was supposed to do, and I'm planning on being the best man I believe. My wife, she's drawing more to me. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in 20 years, but what I want to do is look back at 20, 30 years on my relationship and say I was the best husband that she could have had at that time. I gave it my 100, my all to do what I can. And if she decided to leave that, I'm a Christian. When I stand in front of God, he can say, well done, you're the best husband that's possible. Now, I know everybody might not believe that, but I believe that I have to be the best. And if I plan for failure, in the back of my mind, I'm really not planning for failure. If you said is have that insurance policy or that backup door, that back door, I'm giving myself an out. And I feel like I can't expect her to be all in if she's not all in.
Hey,
if I'm not all in.
Now, question: How long are you and your old lady been together?
So we've been married for 3 years and we dated for 2 years.
Dated for 2, married for 3?
Yeah, so we only been together for 5 years.
Got you.
That's not normally, but yeah. I'm sorry, Trill. Go ahead.
No, I was just asking. I just wanted clarity as to his mindset, because again, it sounds very ideal. And again, what you're saying is not wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong at all, but I'm saying it sounds extremely ideal. I think if you talk to men that have been in relationships a decade, 15 years, 20 years, then you'll kind of,
And I think that's why.
I don't want to say come down from the mountain, because everybody's relationship is different. Very, very true. But fact is that people change throughout the relationship. That person that you got with at the beginning, they will not be the same person a decade in. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Like we can talk around it. We can say, okay, this is the type of person that I wish she would be, or this is the type of person that I think she's going to be, or she's shown me signs that she'll be able to maintain. But fact is, when you've been with somebody for that long, they will not be the same person that you met. That's just reality.
You're correct.
To say one thing, go ahead. Sir. Also, speaking of that, to say one thing is, I have had these conversations with men that have been married 20, 30, 40 years. And I had these conversations that said, hey, I believe me focused on me being great and the best husband I can is why we were strengthened today. So I'm not saying this based off my 5 year. I think the best advice I got when we went into counseling, we did counseling before, and we do maintenance on our marriage. So we go to counseling. Yes, she's a different person than she was 3 years ago. But since we have a counselor and we actually a marriage with a purpose, I feel like that helps us talk through issues and to be able to get back on the same page. And people that I asked that failed, I say, hey, did y'all go to counseling? Did y'all have any professional help to keep that relationship? Most of them tell me no. And I can't speak for everyone, but I'm having these conversations because I want to be married on purpose, if that makes sense.
But see, man, you know what? I think that like we disconnecting it. I think that you feel like, because I'm saying to be prepared just in case it goes left, I'm saying that you feel like I'm saying that you can't go 100 miles per hour in it. I would equate it to something like, let's say football, for example, right? Like you go out there and you give 100% energy. True. But you still put that helmet on. You still put those shoulder pads on. You still put those leg pads on. Why do you do that? It's because you know that it's a good chance that I might get hurt out here. But this shit might not go the way that I planned it to go. So I'm going to protect myself just in case. So it's that type of thing. Like I'm not saying that just because you're, I guess, taking measures to protect yourself, or that you're factoring in that it's a great chance that this shit is not going to last, which is reality. That's not conjecture. That's not my opinion. That's not something I'm just coming up with out of imagination. You look at everybody's relationships. It's a good chance that this shit is not going to last. That's a fact. So
that's tough, Trill.
Me keeping that in mind,
we're gonna go to kosher real quick.
Doesn't mean yeah. Me keeping that in mind doesn't mean that I'm not going 100 miles per hour to make sure that this shit succeeds. And I feel like that's where we disconnecting at.
Go ahead, Coach.
Well, listen, there's a such thing called protective factors and risk factors in clinical therapy, and nothing is 100% guaranteed. I agree with that. You're 100% right. I've been married for 25 years, going on 26. I've grown a lot. I'm not the same man, when I got married at 18. I mean, at 20, not 18, but 23. But the problem is it's the fragmentations of families and communities. Your thought process, Emmanuel, actually is a good thought process. What families and cultures do, they more or less help fortify the traditions and more or less principles of what you're trying to more or less adhere to. So years ago, we had, those cultures and communities and families. But now many families and communities are fragmented for whatever reason. Some of it is because of philosophies or beliefs that are antithetical to traditionalism. But you're correct. It's almost like when I played basketball, I practiced, but it wasn't a guarantee we was going to win the state championship. It wasn't a guarantee. I'm 6'5", 6'6", but it wasn't a guarantee we were going to win it. So I commend you. I would say be the best man you can be. That's 100% correct. But the Trill AC is correct. Nothing is guaranteed. But I will say this. I would say the odds are better and more in your favor, Emmanuel, than I would say more American people, the average American. For the simple fact, Asian culture is more or less predicated on honor. And that's something that our culture don't have. There's no honor and respect or admonition of Black men in communities. So I would say, in theory, your principle is very salient. But like the Trill AC said, life is inevitable. she's going to grow. But if she has solid principles and those protective factors versus those risk factors, you should be fine, brother. You should be fine, in my opinion.
All right, Emmanuel. We appreciate you calling in, man. Hopefully this information was able to help you.
Emmanuel,
Hold on real quick. Shannon want to go ahead
make sure you
and
go
close it out.
watch Eddie Murphy Raw. No, I was going to just tell him, Emmanuel, make sure you go watch comedy special Eddie Murphy Raw, and specifically look for the fufu part. That's all I'm gonna say. You're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna learn a lot from that one segment.
Yeah, I did see it. My daddy, before I got married, made me watch it. So I have saw what you're talking about. So I know exactly what you said. But one thing I want to say, close it out.
Real quick.
Yeah, thank you guys, because us younger guys have to have the knowledge to move the right way. And I commend you guys for taking out time of your day to speak to us, to be able to give us knowledge how to move forward. I think knowledge in our community is what we really lacking, and I feel like I got a lot of knowledge on this. So appreciate the work that you guys do.
Okay. Definitely appreciate you, man. I remember you from calling in another time. I don't know if it was on Lapeef Let's Talk or King Talk, but I remember you. I appreciate the support. All right.
Yeah.
I mean to cut him off like that. But yeah, I see you in the background. I appreciate you, Emmanuel. All right. It's been a wrap, fellas, man. It's been a great show. But before I get off, I do want to go around because for the people that's not familiar with you guys, I want to put this up first real quick. King has a book that he has, and it's called
Thank you.
Love and Life Through the Eyes of Travel. So this is his book. You guys get a chance, check it out. And I know some people on here have platform as well. I appreciate these guys coming on my platform, and I want to be able to introduce you guys to their platform if you don't know. So go ahead and Trill, start with you.
Oh man. First off, JR, it's a pleasure you having me, bro. I had a hell of a conversation. I enjoyed it as always. It got a little combative, but that's that's right up my alley. I like that. I like that type of conversation. But yeah, make sure y'all follow me, man. I'm DTrillAC on all platforms. Y'all make sure y'all check out Crew Season. That's my podcast. That's on we got a YouTube channel as well. Y'all make sure y'all check that out. But we discuss a lot of things like this and life and just culture in general, man. And again, I appreciate the opportunity, bro. I had a blast.
No doubt. Go ahead, Guapo.
Good evening, everyone. JR, thank you so much for the invitation. I'm glad I was able to make it last minute. I have a YouTube channel called Beautiful Lies. Everything leadership, mentorship in the Black community. We get into certain things here and there, but I always try to bring that message full circle. So I'm honored to be on the panel with you gentlemen, and hopefully I'll get to see you all again.
No doubt.
No doubt. Kosher?
My channel is called The Kosher Clinician, which is a combination of two things. The Manhood Chronicles, which is symbolic of what I call group therapy, but also The Kosher Clinician as we assess the deficits in society. So go check me out at The Kosher Clinician. If you want some non-diagnostic consultations, email me at kosherclinician@gmail.com. That's kosherclinician@gmail.com for a non-diagnostic consultation. I cannot diagnose you if you're not in my state, but I can give you solutions around whatever pathology that you're having. And thank you, Lapeef JR, brother. It's an honor and a pleasure, man. I would love to come back and chop up some more game and spit some fire. But man, I'm honored and grateful, brother. I really appreciate this.
All right, man. Just make sure that y'all don't have my when I try to reach out, make sure y'all don't have me going to spam, because I'm definitely gonna reach back out to y'all. Go ahead, Shannon.
Man, I don't like to even talk about or plug my own channel. I want everybody to make sure you guys are following the Lapeef Network. It's important.
I appreciate it, man.
I'm a guest over here. I want everybody to follow the Lapeef Network, and please like and subscribe to the Lapeef Network and like this video. I appreciate everybody for taking their time out this evening to even listen to us, brothers. Okay. Thank you so much, man.
All right, Gerald, you got something?
Hey man, I just appreciate you inviting me back again, Lapeef. And I'm like Shannon, man. I want you guys to follow this channel. I boosted on all of my channels, and follow these fantastic kings in this room, man. I'm just honored and privileged to just be on stage with you guys. You guys are intelligent brothers, and I am so honored to be on this stage because we are proving that the media bias about who we are is wrong. That is not who we are, and we are strong Black brothers, and I appreciate you. Check me out on any social media, but I'm going to push you back to Lapeef, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate you. All right, King. I shout out your boy. Got anything else for the people?
I want to say I really don't like none of y'all, but I love all of y'all. But I really love all of y'all. So that's what So if you learn the way I speak, then you realize there's hidden messages with my assertiveness and my me being eccentric. So his show has a lot of replay value. So go back, listen to it again, then come back at me and show me more love. And I want to say thank you to everybody being out there. And guess what? I love y'all, man. I don't like y'all, but I love y'all. That's why I tell y'all the truth.
I heard that, man. That's what's up. Man.
We love you too, man. Shout out to White Jesus.
Again, fellas, man, I appreciate you guys. I want to thank the fans, man, for tuning in and the constant support. I recognize all the super chats. I couldn't acknowledge each and every last one of them, but I did see them. And again, it's appreciative. We definitely bring it about next week, and I might be reaching out back to some of you fellas, man. I love what we did tonight. It was great.
No doubt. Appreciate it, brother.
All right. All right, y'all. Till next time. We out. Oh, wrong cue. y'all. Make sure to get them likes up. Get them likes up. We appreciate y'all. Thanks for the constant support. Gonna play these tunes for a little bit for y'all. your beautiful lives. Like one more song for y'all. Make sure I get them likes up. Get them likes up. Subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys' support as always. Couldn't do this without you guys, man. We've grown so much, and I want to thank you guys. One more track. One more track. Alright, you guys, that was the last track. Again, we appreciate you guys tuning in tonight for King Talk. See us next Tuesday.